Oh, there we go.
What's up, good looking boys and girls? Thank you so much for tuning into another Eggman's interview. Today, your boy is going to be interviewing the man himself, Insta Frank. I've been following him on Instagram for a pretty long time, and I think he's a pretty inspirational figure in the me based diet space. He has eaten a lot of pretty wild, crazy stuff. For example, I think the first time I came across him, he was eating a little live baby bird raw. That little guy was eaten alive by our vicious boy Frank. Anyways, I'm very happy and honored that I'm about to interview him now. Welcome, Frank. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Yeah, we've followed each other for a while now, so it's pretty great to be on here and chat some.
Awesome. Yeah, so let me start our interview by asking you this. How many live animals do you think you have eaten?
Oh God. Yeah, I remember that the live it was a live bird. I actually, to be completely honest, I ended up taking that post down. It turned out, I'll just be honest, it may have been like an endangered bird. So that was my bad. It was not a chicken. Um, but I found a nest in like where we raise our chickens in the fields, and I was like, I know people do this, that they eat like kind of live creatures or whatever. So like, I'll just do it. And I knew I was going to face some backlash on Instagram, and I did. But I kept it up for a while, and some people reported me. I'm like, all right, maybe this is like going a little bit too far. But yeah. So it was those few little baby birds that ate live and raw, which didn't really taste like much, quite honestly. And sure, I've had insects, but I mean, who hasn't? I guess. And that's really about it. You know, there's only so many like live things you can eat. Maybe like small snakes, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. So, or lizards, I've seen people do, but I haven't done anything like that.
Hmm, makes makes sense. I think humans, their ability to eat live animals is pretty limited.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I wonder if it was okay for me to talk about that, you know?
No, I mean, no, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I mean, it happened. I definitely did it. I'm not gonna like act like I haven't done it because it was pretty fun in the moment, and then I was like, whoops, that was a little far. Some people loved it though, but turned out, yeah, that could have been an endangered bird. So it's like, my bad.
Hmm,
Never do that again.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely pretty fun for me to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
at that time I was still a pretty blue-pilled carnivore, so it's
Mhm.
pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure.
I want to tell the listeners that Frank definitely played a part in the fact that I'm eating more raw meat now. Like he made me see how the world works basically in a more complete picture.
Oh, great. That's
Yeah.
great. I'm happy to hear that.
I think you have eaten some random wild dead owls and beavers, I guess.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
the owl was pretty cool. And I mean, I really so that was probably also mildly illegal. Like here in the States, you're like not necessarily supposed to like touch birds of prey like that. People do it all the time though. People collect their feathers and skulls. This is what it is. But yeah, I was maple sugaring in the woods here in Vermont, and I saw this owl kind of face down in the cold stream, and I was like, well, I have to eat this. And and I really hate to say it, it was like the best meat I ever had was the owl. The owl
Oh.
breast was really good. It was really cold, of course, from the water, maintained fresh, and it was just like a cross between like tuna and beef for whatever reason. It was like just really fresh, very light, but very like red meaty, and it was great. Um, the owl and then beaver. Yeah, I've had like beaver tail, like from Roadkill Beaver, which is pretty great because when the cars went over the beaver, like the tail is already pretty flat, so it's not really like that's getting ruined. It's covered in scales too, but obviously the whole body's just smush. But the tail's always gonna be good, so that was fun to play around with.
Why did you say you hate to say that the owl meat was the best you have tried?
Because I mean, we're probably. I don't want to go out and like say like let's go and eat some owls, guys. But um, just because I feel like there's probably, and some people have warned me afterwards, like there's probably some laws or legalities saying like, don't disrupt birds of prey, even if they're dead. It's kind of like even if it was like voodoo or laws or whatever, like you're not really supposed to do that. I don't know it perfectly well, and so I knew it was risky, like putting that out there. But at the same time, I kind of like to put that stuff out there, just to show that you can and not die, so to speak, and that there's nothing to fear. And like at the same time, like I don't know, I just find it interesting, so I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, I think it can be pretty informative in a way. Yeah,
Mhm.
it can definitely
Definitely.
influence the world in a positive way if you are a chill guy, because
Yeah,
like some people are not chill, they're angry.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I wonder when was the first time you ate something that's more not common, because most raw meat eaters, they just eat some normal ruminant animal meat and organs. Yeah. I wonder, yeah, when was like the first time you ate something that's more different?
Ooh, that's a good point. I mean, I would say probably beginning of 2020, I was, when I was doing an internship at White Oak Pastures, which a lot of people may have heard of. It's a farm in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, in the U.S. And I did an internship there for three months, and I was kind of like a crazy intern there and doing a bunch of stupid things. And um, oftentimes they had dead piglets, like their moms or like big sows. They would roll over on their pigs by accident, their baby piglets, and they would crush them. And then it would be our jobs to take the piglets out so the mothers didn't eat them, and they would think that the piglets are food. So we would collect the dead piglets, and I would eat their brains raw.
Oh, so you are
Yeah.
already eating raw brains back in 2020.
Yeah, the first time I had brains, it was lamb
Wow.
brain. In 2019, I had lamb brains for the
What the
first
fuck?
time. I was very scared. This was before Instagram. I was eating lamb brains. I just got a lamb head for pretty inexpensive at a farmer's market in College Park, Maryland, and I just went for it. I was really scared, but I just did it anyways. And now I love them.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it has a different meaning. Like you are eating some raw. Like if you tell people that you eat raw brains now, then I guess it's not that crazy. But if you are like already doing that so many years ago, it's very cool.
Yeah, at least for 6 years now. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So before this interview, you said you were going to prepare some goodies for the interview, right? So can you show us what you have got?
Yeah, so I slaughtered two sheep today.
Oh,
Oh no. And here's
this
one of the
guess is
heads.
different.
And I'll crack open to this if you want me to.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Definitely.
maybe you.
I got
Yeah,
I got blood on
let's
the
see.
table here. So this is
Nice.
I'm in our farm uh office trailer now, so I'll have to clean this up before people get here tomorrow morning. But
Oh,
a little mess here. But
oh my god.
so I came prepared.
This
Hopefully
is
you can see
epic.
that. But
Oh yeah,
so
perfect.
tools you'll need like a knife, and then I got a meat cleaver here, and then mallet, an
Nice.
oyster shucker. So I'll try to do this pretty briefly, but I've gotten pretty good at it. I think y'all can see that. And I was kind of going to make a cut right here, and this is going to uh, help with the meat cleaver itself, finding a spot for that as far as I can. Just about there. Yeah, I see that. And sometimes I'll remove the tongue just to make it a little bit easier.
Hmm.
Let me do that real quickly. Where are we at? Oh, there we go.
I hope YouTube doesn't take this down.
Yeah, I mean, hope not. All right, here we go. So here's the tongue.
Nice. Oh my god. Nice. Wow.
And the tongue, I don't really eat. I should, but I'll just give the tongue to the dogs. I work at the farm here, and the dogs, they love that. I also give like lungs to dogs because they really love the lungs for some reason. It's just easy for them to eat. And let me, do for now. And the hardest part about this is now my hands are a little slippery, but I'll try to do this well enough. Now I'm just putting the meat cleaver right on that line that I cut with the knife.
Nice. Wow.
And then just kind of go at it.
Nice. Holy shit.
Try to do this quickly. And then down here. And then, oops. And honestly, like, yeah, they make saws, to do this a lot faster and everything, but I like to do it this way. Just seems more traditional. All right. Now. So.
Nice.
So there's the brain.
Awesome. Oh.
And.
Let's go. Nice.
So. This is where the oyster shucker comes in handy. You scoop it right out.
Wow.
Here's the other half. And yeah, I love brains. I know like a lot of people, especially in the US, are like afraid to eat them. And the whole like mad cow disease or prions, and I'm not an expert at that, but I just don't think it's anything to be concerned of. So I love brains. They're like some of my favorite parts. And just really nutritious, I feel like. A lot of saturated fat, a lot of cholesterol, a lot of DHA. And so, I don't know, I think that it's kind of a bummer that they're not more popular in the US, but that's so. I try to promote them.
Nice. Awesome.
What's up?
I can tell that your message right there was just to tell people that you should man up and eat your raw brain.
Yeah, pretty much. I try to do it politely.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Because I want to also eat some cool foods with Frank. So I prepared this. Do you know what this is? Oh, no.
Is that kidneys and suet?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Good guess. Yeah, so I'm going to be eating this for the first time right now. Let's go. But this is previously frozen.
Oh, cool.
What are your thoughts on frozen foods as I'm eating?
Oh, thoughts on frozen meat? Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. Sometimes I just have to do it just for preservation reasons. Like I have access to a fridge and freezer here at the farm, and because I live in a tent, of course, I'm not in a house, so I'm just all on like the farm's property, and I got pretty lucky. So I have access to walk-in coolers and freezers, and so if I have to use a freezer, I will, and it doesn't really bother me, quite honestly. I know what people say, like it changes like the structure or destroys vitamins. You're gonna be fine eating it. Sure, you might lose some, but it's gonna be better than no meat at all. You're still gonna be healthier than the person that doesn't eat it at all. So,
Nice point. You're not fear-mongering people.
No, I'm not into that.
Yeah, the texture is so much softer than I expected. Like it's so easy to chew. So I like that factor. The taste, I feel like I have tasted something similar before, but I don't know what that was. So
You're talking about
maybe
the taste of the kidney?
Maybe it tastes. No, I think it tastes a little like testicles.
Okay. Yeah,
But
definitely same texture.
oh yeah, I'm talking about the scent, yeah, the
Mm,
smell. I think the smell
yeah,
is a little similar to chicken testicles. This is
yeah,
lamb kidneys.
gotcha.
Yeah, I heard that there are like different kinds of fat on an animal.
Mm,
So some fat they can stuck in your teeth more easily, and some fat won't. Have you noticed this?
yeah, I would notice like the fat that's like very sinewy, um, and so I would say like fat around probably like the legs and like just around like the carcass in general, where there might be like some silver skin attached to it as well. Like that's just going to get stuck in my teeth. That's what I notice when butchering sheep, at least. But suet, I don't know. It kind of like coats the teeth like gum in a way, but like I'm used to that. I just kind of like eat around it. So yeah, some things get coated around the teeth, some things get stuck in between, but um, except brains, brains just go straight down.
Nice. So where you put the lamb head?
Laminate? I got this.
Yeah, like where are you going to store this?
Oh, okay. Um, I will uh probably well, honestly, I'm probably just gonna compost that now. I might eat the eyeballs later. Just because, I took the tongue out, I'll feed the tongue to the dogs, and then I'll just might eat the eyeballs or something. There's not much. Sure, they have the cheeks left, but I mean, I just kind of compost it or just feed. I pretty much eat the brains and the eyes, and then like the tongues, or if I get the cheeks out, there's only a little bit of meat in the cheeks. If I get those out, those are gonna be for the dogs. So I could put them in the meat grinder though.
I see. Basically,
Mm.
you are saying that there's not much food you can get from the head, right?
Correct, and also like the tongue, uh, it does taste really grassy after you kill it, unless you wash it a lot. And yeah, straight after you kill it, it just tastes so grassy.
Well,
And
that's an interesting point because like
mm,
I feel like at least in my country, a lot of the times people consider tongues to be a kind of like a high end food, but
mm.
most people probably don't know that is where the food goes through and it can have some grass taste.
Yeah, I mean, especially like right after you kill it, at least. And if I took the time to like really wash it and clean it, then it'll be fine. But it just takes some effort. Um, but yeah, beef tongues are big here. People love to like slow cook it, and they're pretty inexpensive too. So
Nice. Okay. Do you want to eat eyeballs now?
yeah, yeah, let me do that. Uh, so the eyeballs, hopefully,
Nice.
when the lights turned off here at the office trailer, but hopefully you can see that. Let me do this for you. So eyeball, you'll see that. Yeah. The goal is to not pierce it, and you just
Okay.
take your knife, and this is a pretty flexible knife. It bends,
Mm.
and oh, actually, I accidentally did pierce it. Um, dang. But actually, let me just
Nice.
um, I got a little bit of it there. It's very hard to like not pierce, and if
Oh.
that happens, you kind of just have to go in,
Oh
and
my
then
god, let's go.
and
Based.
so there's the eyeball itself. You kind of just
Is it hard to
do that.
chew at all?
Um, Not really. Uh, it's not really that bad. Maybe for some people, it might be if they're like hesitant. But I'm just so
Oh.
used to it now. But yeah, I'll try better with this eye. Um, Sometimes,
Well,
actually, I want to use my oyster shucker real quick, and that might help pry it up. Yeah.
would you rank eyeballs' deliciousness to be pretty high?
Um, yeah. No, I really like eyes, and So here you can see I kind of just got it popped out there. I do like the eyes because there's fat behind the eyeball that connects to the brain. Of course, the eyeball is technically an extension of the brain. And so you have cool fat behind it. I wonder if I can get that out. And that tastes really good, very similar to brains. And then the eyeball itself, it's just filled with like salt water. And so it's like this cool, it's it's hydrating. And let me get this out. So as you see, there's the eyeball, and then here's the fat dangling from behind it, like so. And basically, yeah, you kind of just.
Let's go.
So, yeah, it's like a burst of salt water. It's pretty great.
Nice.
And I don't know if there's any like specific nutrients in eyeballs or anything like that. I've never stumbled like across that. But it's just fun. It's salt water, and there's the fat behind it. It's great. So that's good at least.
Do you know who is Goatis?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Goatis. Yeah.
Oh,
it's probably where I saw it from.
Yeah, I think he has said eyeballs taste is like one of the best. So that's why I was curious to ask you.
Yeah, no, they're great. And I've also had like, fish eyeballs before, like this was a while back when I was like slow cooking like salmon heads. Like they're really great as well. But otherwise, like they're going to taste the same. It's just like a burst of salt water, and I don't know, it's just water. It's super weird actually. But
I remember when I was little, I always liked to eat cooked fish eyes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I'm not sure if I was doing that because people would compliment me for doing that, or I actually enjoy doing that. Because I guess a good amount of older people here, they think eating fish is good and eating fish eyes is good, stuff like that. So they'll compliment you if you eat fish and stuff.
Yeah, and where are you from again?
Yeah, so right now I'm in Taiwan.
Taiwan.
I'm from Taiwan.
Gotcha. Yes,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
That's cool.
Let's see.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you said you have tried some insects that was still alive, I guess. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, this was like for fun here or there. Like, I'm not gonna say like let's eat insects to like save the world because that's not gonna happen. It's just fun to do. And sure, I've had like crickets and grasshoppers, ants and maggots, and I have a post from 2020 of me eating maggots off of a lamb's head that was rotting. So it's fun to like do, I guess, but like it's not really like a huge source of nutrition. It's cool, but I think you'll need a lot to like really nourish you. But yeah, insects are weird. I know like there's a big push like eat insects, eat insect powder. Like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think you are afraid of cockroaches?
Like to eat them?
I mean, let's start with in general.
No, I mean not. Well, I guess it depends. If they're like in like a dirty, polluted building, which I feel like a lot of them are, then I probably don't really want to like touch them or go near them.
Oh.
And like because they're just like their environment. But if it's a clean, healthy cockroach, I mean, I would be down.
Oh, you would be down to eat that?
Yeah, for sure,
Oh,
yeah.
based. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to tell you my credit, my street credit. I have eaten a fruit fly and a mosquito raw.
Really? That's interesting.
After I killed him, I was like,
yeah.
I was looking at them and I was like, I'm afraid to eat them, but should I really be so scared? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what does your diet look like now?
Yeah. It's I think the best way to describe it is pretty much like raw carnivore. So it's pretty much uh sheep. If it's like most of what I eat is like the sheep that I'm killing and like the lamb. But I'll also have like beef fat as well. It's like pretty much all ruminants, red meat. I don't eat like pork or poultry really. Mainly just because I don't see the point. I just stick with ruminant meat. And I love oysters as well. They're kind of pricey, but oysters are like the main seafood I eat. And I don't eat eggs really. Not that I have anything against them. I just don't really care for them. Uh, Raw dairy, I don't really consume that. I'll go through phases where I want to consume it, but I just never stick with it. It's never filling to me. And yeah, so I just stick with it's kind of like red meat diet. Like all I've had today was sheep meat, and then I'll have oysters, and then I'll also have sauerkraut or pickles, kimchi if I'm really craving salt. But honestly, I feel better. I have to admit, like I feel strongest when I'm eating just a pure red meat and oyster diet. And sometimes I will put salt in my water as well for extra electrolytes. I think that's why I crave sauerkraut or pickles sometimes. But so that's pretty much it. It's very low carb. It's mostly carnivore. I don't drink coffee, so any plants I consume, it's just like fermented. It's kimchi, it's sauerkraut, it's pickles. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. That's pretty clear.
Mhm.
So you always just get some sheep from people and you just eat that as your food?
Yeah, so I will. I mean, I kill the sheep, of course. I slaughter. I buy the whole animal technically. And today, I went in for one sheep. It was 3-year-old Icelandic sheep, and then the guy, Mr. John, he told me he also had a soy sheep that was the breed, and he wanted that sheep, that ram lamb gone because it was being annoying. And so I got like a half, I got a discounted price on that. So sometimes I get sheep for free. It's all about like going to these people all the time and let them know your name and what you're into. And yeah, I go there, I kill it, with a knife across the throat. I collect the blood and I eat as much of it, that I want to and that I can. And whatever, some gets composted, some goes to the dogs. But yeah, it's a fun process for sure.
So you said you just got a whole sheep today or two?
I got two sheep today. Yeah.
Oh.
One of them was 3 years old. The other one was 2 years old, which is
Mm.
considered to be mutton. Like lamb is like 6 months to 12 months of age, and then 12 to 24 months of age is like a yearling or a hogget, is the term. And then 24 months of age and older is mutton. So they're technically mutton.
Oh.
I generally eat more mutton than I do lamb. Just because older sheep tend to cost less than younger sheep, ironically. Um, but I like it all.
Mm. So are you going to put? You already killed them. You already killed two sheeps today, right?
Yeah, that's what I did
Oh.
today. I slaughtered both of them and then skin, gut, and
Mm.
I
Wow.
processed a little bit today, just cut in big pieces, and I have some of it still in my Prius, and I actually have some of it still hanging outside because it'll be kind of cold tonight. It's not perfect
Oh.
hanging weather. That'll be around like 34 to 36 degrees, but it's going to be a little chilly tonight, so I can get away with it. But tomorrow I'll put it like in the walk-in cooler or something.
Mm. So would it be fair to say you usually put your like the sheep you just processed, you put them in the fridge after a
Correct.
while? Uh,
Yes, definitely do. But like, since it gets really cold here in Vermont for a long period of time here, I will just leave it outside hanging, and like it never goes in the fridge at all. Sometimes, uh,
oh.
like during the winter, I will just have it hanging, but then it will definitely freeze, with how cold it
Mm.
gets here, and so I will have to like put it in like a warm area actually to let it thaw out. And so
Hmm.
it's just like a fun balance to figure out. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
in the wintertime, refrigerators aren't necessary, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Okay. So I guess you probably utilize the freezer relatively often, other than the winter time,
Yeah,
because
I
that's
would say so. Like,
because you always buy a lot of meat.
That's what That's what I've learned. It's like for a while, I was trying to not use a freezer because I was kind of concerned, like, oh, is this going to like destroy it in any way? And like, but then I realized like I'm losing some meat here by just leaving it in the fridge, and I'm losing space as well with all that I have here. Like, honestly, there is a certain point where I'm just not going to eat the meat. Like, it is like it's pretty bad, and like I just can't eat it. It's to a certain point. It takes me a while to get there, of course, but there's a certain point where I was like, yeah, this is going in the compost. And so I just had to learn like some of it, I will have to put in the freezer just to preserve it longer. But ideally, I would have an area where I could like just hang it, dry age it, and not freeze it. But I just don't have that right now.
Okay, good, good, good. How long do you think the two sheep can last you?
Ooh, they were not very big. So these two sheep in particular, let's see, it's October. Um, I would say it's gonna be at least 3 weeks because they weren't huge. So I think around 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. Only 3 weeks, and then you are going to buy your new badger sheep.
Yeah, and I might get one
Oh,
even sooner just to like be on top of it, not wait till the very end. Um, I might have some reserves back here, and then I'll, uh, just get one ahead of time. So I
nice,
have fortunately a consistent flow of sheep access here, so I've worked it out well.
nice. Yeah, so I guess you are eating pretty naturally. So when I say that, I mean like you are eating mostly local foods.
Everything I eat is local. Um,
Mm,
like yeah, literally. um, like all the meat that I eat is yeah, all the sheep meat that I eat is like within a 50-mile radius of me. Because like I don't drive super far to get it, and then the beef, same. If I eat beef, it's from the state of Vermont that I live in, and then the oysters now they might come from Canada, which is pretty close to me, and through Boston Harbor, so it's all relatively close. Fermented vegetables are grown organically locally near me, so yeah, nothing tropical, nothing super far away from me at all. It's pretty much local.
mm. Is that like a big priority of yours, or it just happened to be that way?
For a while there, like I think local, it's so funny. Local was a huge deal for me when I was vegan, a while back, and because it had to be, because like all the staples to be vegan, like let's say quinoa and lentils, rice, kidney beans, black beans, tofu, all of the main staples of veganism to keep you alive, they aren't local to most people. Like not here in like where I was, in the eastern side of the US, like they're not they're coming from I don't even know where, to be completely honest, but it's being shipped and grown in monocultures and destroying all sorts of things. Then so eating low, but I wanted to prioritize eating like the vegetables locally, and so it was more of a big deal because it was harder to do local as a vegan, ironically. But now that I'm more carnivore, it just happens naturally. I don't even think about it. Like I don't even try to like, oh, let's eat local. It's not. It doesn't even cross my brain anymore, just because it happens so easily. It's so much easier to eat locally when you eat a meat-based diet because meat is just like it's just everywhere. Like I've heard something like a quarter of the land on the U.S. is arable, is farmable for plants. So that means not much of it is really suited for plant agriculture. Mostly livestock agriculture. So it's just so much easier to eat, livestock year round and locally.
Oh, you live in a tent. How long have you
Yeah.
been doing that? Yeah, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know you are still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I do it seasonally. This is my I say third season here at the farm doing that. This is my sixth season here working at this farm, Maple Wind Farm in Vermont. And so this is my third season here. So like from March to November, and then during winter it just gets too cold, and I find somewhere else, something else to do, whatever I can, and somewhere that's inside and warm. um, but yeah, just because living in a tent is just going to be really hard to do in the winter here.
Oh, okay. Are you in a good relationship with your family?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I've lucked out, quite honestly. I come from a big family back home in Southern Maryland, and I'm probably respectfully to say the black sheep of the family. I come from a very wealthy family, and a lot of government, military, business, and then there's me doing raw meat farming stuff. Like, not particularly rich myself, but I live a very interesting life compared to my family. Yeah, I miss them a lot, and so I see them here and there throughout the year. Now that I live up here, uh, I'm more north of where I'm from, so yeah, now I get along with them really well.
Oh, sounds good. Nice. Can you talk about like how far are you from them, from you right now and them?
Yeah. So Maryland, it's about, for me at least, like 10-hour drive or so. Um, and some people can do it in like 9 hours, depending how fast they go, and like what time of day. But it's yeah, right now I'm close to the Canadian border. So I'm that far north, and then Maryland is like kind of more in the middle of the East Coast, and so there's just well, I go through Delaware, New Jersey, New York. I go through all those states till I get to Vermont from Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Do you ever eat out with other people?
Oh, no, I don't. It's funny. I've just naturally never really been into restaurants or anything like that. Any sort of phase of my life, I just never really liked restaurants, and so I just don't do it. I just have other things I
Mm.
do. So
Okay, okay. I see.
yeah, I haven't been to a restaurant in a very long time.
What if you want to go out on a date with a girl?
Yeah, that's just we're going through something else.
You mean
Like
like you are not going to be eating at a restaurant?
I'm not opposed to it. I haven't been to a restaurant and I don't even know when the last time I was or where it was. It's just been so long. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just also personally, I just always felt weird with restaurants. I think they were just overhyped. It's just like because I kind of worked in restaurants here and there growing up, and it's just I don't know. It's not that fancy. It's not that cool. Like it's just all these products getting shipped in to like this one central location, and then all these people you don't even know are stressed out behind the scenes, yelling at each other, working, 12-hour shifts, and they're hating their lives just to prepare this food. There's nothing like happy to me about restaurants. Even if it's like a quote unquote like good restaurant, like there's just so much stress there. Like you might be happy, but like you as the customer might be happy, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like just behind the scenes of restaurants, it's so stressful, and like the products are coming from everywhere. You just don't know how it's prepared, and I just don't like that lack of transparency. And I just can't find the fun in that. So like I'd rather just go on a slaughter date. Like let's just kill a sheep together, and then we can go from there. Uh, that's more up my alley.
Sounds good. Yeah, if you look at restaurants that way, you definitely will become less interested, I guess.
Yeah, I've just seen the behind the scenes of it before, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not impressed.
Mm-hmm. What do you think your family think about your diet?
Yeah, I don't know. They support it now for sure. That's kind of like why I even started Instagram to begin with, because it was that time in my life when I was like had to leave home, and home was really big to me. Like my family was just also my friends. My social group was my family. I just grew up that way. We were always so close with each other. But I had to leave home when I was 24 to get my health together. Um, I was overweight by that point, and I went from underweight to overweight. Couldn't sleep, so had to leave. New environment, and when I wanted to like show like, hey, I can get healthier again, and not that they even knew this, not that they expected me to do this, but I just needed to prove that I knew what I was doing, because I feel like for years I didn't know what I was doing with veganism and everything like that, and so yeah, over the years they probably thought I was like crazy. What is he doing? But as the results came, as I started to look better and feel better and perform better, I think like they were like, oh wait, Frankie knows what he's doing, and so that means everything to me. Not that I ever really lost their trust per se. I definitely made a lot of them worried with my health problems. And when I felt like I knew to go down this crazy carnivore path, I was like, I'm going to have to prove it. And so that's why I started Instagram. I needed to document my progress I was already 2 years into carnivore before starting Instagram anyways. But I just need to document it more thoroughly just to prove it for myself and, just to show.
Nice. Yeah, I guess they can have two negative opinions because you definitely have a nice transformation.
Yeah, and it's cool like hearing, from some people like in family who like, yeah, I'm eating some steak, I'm eating some bone marrow. Thanks, this is great. I need more,
Oh.
butter, more fat or whatever, and like, I think like piqued their interest, brought to light, me or other people, and so that means a lot to me for sure.
Nice. Awesome. So, just to make sure, right now you are in Vermont and you are from Maryland.
Correct. Yep.
Nice. So, is there any other basic information about yourself you would like people to know?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, got up here in Vermont 2020, work here at a farm. Yeah, I live in a tent, but I'm 30 years old and still trying to figure things out, like career-wise and all that. And so, but yeah, pretty much just basing my life around sheep, slaughtering, butchering sheep, and I don't agree with like working a slave desk job or anything like that. So I know I'm just trying to live my life with a purpose, and feel like that purpose right now is just promoting healthy living, healthy eating without being too fringy about it. There's a lot of like crazy raw carnivores on here, raw primal people on here. Just like I don't like to associate myself with them personally. I just nothing against them. I get along with a lot of them. Like it is cool to like share like, yeah, this is not going to kill you. But I don't know. Some people get really dogmatic about the whole raw stuff or like don't eat carbs and everything. Like let's just come to like the basics of what you're trying to do. You're trying to like just not be a loser, not be weak. And there are many ways to go about that goal. For me, that's what health was all about. I got into health when I was 11, and because I was a heavier guy in school. I went to like a private school growing up, so we had uniforms, and I would every morning I had to like stretch them because I was getting bigger, and I just didn't like that anymore. I was like, your choices are everything. Like, just make smart choices, and like, I'm not going to act like I have the answers. That's not the point of what I do. The point of what I do is just showing like, hey, your choices mean something, and choose wisely, and take life seriously. Like, and because it's 2025, no one's going to like save you. It's we have the option today to be weak, and that's really weird. We've just created this world we live in today where you have the luxury to be weak, to be a loser, and to just be a burden to others. Whereas long time ago, just like we didn't have that time, we didn't have the capability to be weak. We had to work, and that's just a huge ethos of mine. Is just I don't want to be a burden because I felt when I was weak a while back, like to feel like you're a burden to others is horrible. And so I'm not here trying to promote I'm not here to try to promote like raw carnivore, raw primal. Like that's just kind of what I do. And that's just what I settled into. But I'm not going to speak the science of it. I'm not going to say like join our cult. The main thing is just like be proactive in your life, like take the initiative, do what you know is right, don't do what you know is wrong, and just stand up for yourself. And it's kind of what it's all about, really.
Nice. Yeah, I appreciate chill guys like you.
Yeah.
Can you give an example as to maybe some phenomenon you don't really like in the meat-based diet space? You kind of talk about people maybe fearmonger you if you eat carbs. Can you give us some other examples?
Wow, that's a good one. Oh yeah. Well, obviously, like we were talking earlier, like the frozen aspect of it. Like frozen meat, like you're gonna be fine. Like just eat it. You're gonna be fine. Uh, I think that sure it's probably slightly inferior to fresh meat. I've even had a guy message me before. He was concerned about even putting it in the fridge because he was like, "Is that going to destroy?" I'm like, "Oh, please get out of your head. Like, don't live in that kind of fear." Um, and with that being said, that like though I do really like raw meat, I do feel a lot better eating raw meat than cooked meat. But I don't really like the idea that like any amount of cooked meat is going to be like inherently cancerous to the body. I don't think that's fair to say to like people who eat a lot of cooked meat and are like super fit, super healthy, super happy, and like everyone's I don't know. We're kind of all the same, but we're kind of all different here. And so it's hard to say. Like I'm just gonna speak what works for me, and which is a lot of raw meat. But like, yeah, to say like cooked meat is cancerous, I don't know. Like I don't think it's that black and white. And or yeah, I think the cooked aspect of the raw and the raw primal space, the freezing aspect, uh, there's kind of like a war between should be high fat or low fat, high protein or low protein. The gluconeogenesis aspects, like is that a burden to your liver, your kidneys, and no one really knows. Like just do what feels good. And do you need to track ketones and all of this? Like do you need to eat carbs seasonally? And there's just so much going on, and it makes nutrition so confusing as a whole. And yeah, carnivore, even though it's like as quote unquote strict as it is, you can approach it so many ways. Like nose to tail or lion diet, high fat, high protein. There's so much nuance to it, but like it really just I don't know. My suggestion there is just yeah, listen to your body, and sometimes just shut off social media and just be one with your body for a little while and try things out.
Okay, nice. I wonder if some people that are saying some very definite conclusions, if they actually think that way, or they just want to be like dramatic, you know?
Yes, I've always wondered that as well, and I always wonder like, are some of these people just like living in their mom's basement on typing on Reddit just like to make themselves feel better? I don't know. Not to sound harsh, but just like I don't know. Like who are these people that are typing this like and saying this stuff? And are they just saying like I feel like a lot of people want to like they yearn to belong somewhere and they're turning diet because everyone's eating, everyone has to eat, and they're just turning diets into cults, and because it's the easiest thing to turn into a cult. And yeah, I don't know. It's just and to belong to that cult, you have to like hate on others. You have to like constantly proclaim your beliefs, and so just for the sake of doing it, and without true evidence to it sometimes.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to go to the main part of this interview. I want to know more about your dietary journey. So you mentioned that you were more overweight at one point, but I wanted to talk about because you have a pretty famous picture on your Instagram. On the left, you look pretty, I guess, malnourished and weak, and on the right, you look pretty fine and healthy. Yeah. So I guess at one point you were overweight, and then for some reason you became the more weak version, right? Can you kind of talk about what kind of lifestyle you were living to lead up to that point?
Yeah, I mean, so technically, like, it was actually like I was very healthy. Like, let's say in high school, I was very healthy, super fit, and most perfect attendance. And then once I graduated high school was when I actually went down like the veganism route, and I was taking more and more meat out of my diet, and then I became emaciated. Then, and then so then I had to go to the hospital for anorexia, and they put on like 40 pounds in like 10 weeks or so on me, and so that was pretty fast. But then I kind of lost it all just because it just was not proper nutrition that I needed. I couldn't retain it, just destroyed my gut even more. Then I lost the weight again, and then got like Lyme disease antibiotic treatment, and like that destroyed my gut even more. And so the lowest, so I'm about 6'1" right now. The lowest I've seen my weight is 121 pounds. I saw that, when I was anorexic in 2016, and then after antibiotics again in like 2018. I think that's like the stopping point where my body says, we're not going any lower, or I'm just going to shut down. And so 121, I think, was my stopping point, at least that I saw on the scale. And then I found carnivore, late 2018. Classic, I saw Sean Baker and Joe Rogan kind of thing. And then I was like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do this. But I had to do it just because I was just like, over time, I realized I had no other choice. And so I just went all in on the carnivore stuff. And but after a while, I put on a lot of weight very quickly. I can't remember exactly how much, how soon, but it was a lot. I went from underweight to overweight in a little over a year, while eating like pretty much carnivore. It's just my body was retaining all those nutrients that I needed that I missed for years. So that was pretty much why. And I figured that was the reason why. I was so malnourished for quite a few years. And then once I was giving my body the nutrition that it needed, and then taking out the stuff it didn't need, like anti-nutrients, the fiber, the sugars, and all that, like it just held on to the protein and fat so strong. And I just got really big. And I was like, then it was affecting my sleep. It was weird because I was healthy, but at the same time I was overweight and I could barely sleep, just so much energy and angst. It was really weird, but just over time it just leveled out. And I knew it was going to level out eventually, but it just took a while. And yeah, and then my weight evened out, my sleep evened out, and it just took some time. And I think that happens often with people, and I've read about it happening often with people. If they're like, they start carnivore, in a particularly malnourished state, which a lot of people do for whatever reason, they will put on weight and maybe become a little bit overweight for a little while, just because their body is just retaining that. And you just have to ride it out. Your body's just going to balance out over time. It just takes time.
Nice. Did you say you're 6'1"?
I'm 6'1", yeah.
Wow, nice. I thought you were shorter. No offense.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not like
Nice.
super tall, but 6'1" or so.
I guess that's tall. You don't think so?
Kind of. I mean, I know a lot. I guess when I see a guy who's like 6'3" or 6'4", I'm like, holy crap, he's tall. I feel average, even though I know like average is like 5'10" or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
there's nothing crazy.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you think you were always pretty healthy up until you were in high school? But I think you mentioned you were overweight in 11, right?
Oh yeah. So that's a good point. I was definitely like the bigger kid in the class, and I can't remember exactly how my weight to height ratio, but definitely come around 5th grade, I was like, all right, I'm getting big here, and it's pretty obvious why I am big. I'm not eating right. Period. End of story. And so between the summer of 5th and 6th grade, I lost 20 pounds. Just because I was like, I'm done. I'm done being the big kid. I'm done stretching my uniform every morning. Like I'm done, running out of breath. And so for me, that looked like I was eating low-fat milk, fruit, grains. I took out all the soda, the sugar. It was just like, it was what I knew of back then, And honestly, when you're young, you can lose weight very easily. And I just lost a bunch of weight, and it was great to see. And it was like, people honestly, I come back in 6th grade, and it's like, holy crap, like Frank has changed. And like to see that from, my peers or my teachers, like, wow, he changed. Like to know that I did it through my own choices, I think I felt just so good about that, and I just carried that on from a young age. Like, wow, yeah, my choices, my dietary choices, people notice, and so that's just most of my life. That's what I've done.
Nice. Okay, good. And can you talk about why you wanted to go vegan?
Yeah, it was when I was a senior in high school. I saw the documentaries, as kids do. Like they show the in my environmental science class, they show like Food Inc. or they talk about meat's impact on the environment, how bad it is for the environment, and this was 2014, granted, and yeah, it hit me because I was actually doing paleo diet in high school, and I was into paleo and CrossFit in high school when I was big, and I was just like super fit. Honestly, it was really fit, and like working out twice a day and all this, and uh, but I was like, wow, all this meat I'm eating is like destroying the planet. I don't like that, and so I gradually just gave it up, and I saw a huge decline in my weight and my strength, but I didn't do anything about it until it was too late. Just because I was
Oh,
at a young age, when you're like 18 to 20, early 20s, like it's so easy to get caught up in like the vegan agenda, and like it just sounds so cool. Especially like when you're that age, you just want to belong in something, and I wanted to belong to like the veganism crowd, and I did that against my health, and so that you know eventually caught up with me.
I see. Let me kind of summarize. So in the beginning, you were pretty fine, and then you got compelled to go vegan. Like you didn't really have major health issues, and then you
Correct.
went vegan, and then you started to become unhealthy.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Late teens, early 20s was when I was vegan, vegetarian route, and then that's when I experienced anorexia when I was 20, and yeah, that's pretty bad. And then 22, I got diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease, and so I had to get treatment for that. So yeah, never really passed college, unfortunately, because that stuff got in the way. But uh, yeah.
Yeah, so how long were you a vegan for?
It was, I say vegan, but it's like pretty much like on and off. It was just like severe, honestly, caloric food restriction. And then I would be like it would pretty much be, how would I say, it's like veganism for a while, and then I might have like one egg, and then I would feel guilty, and then go vegan again. Or I'll have like a little bit of cheese. I'm like, oh man, I'm weak. Go vegan again. Or I'm like, oh wait, fish though. So I have a small piece of rockfish. I'm like, oh, you messed up. Go vegan for even longer. So it's this constant like cycle of like hate that I was in. Like I was using veganism as like punishment. It's just crazy to think about, but and I always did it like the correct way. It was like whole foods, plant based, as they say. Like I never ate the vegan junk food. I never did any of that. Everything I ate that I cooked, like lentils and quinoa, stuff like that.
Mm. But like roughly how long did you do that for?
Oh yeah, I would say at least 4 years.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
And you didn't question the diet that you were eating, right?
yeah. No, I just thought it made too much. It made too much sense at the
Mm.
time to not eat meat. It just sounded too real.
Mm.
It sounded too bad for the environment, too bad for my health, and I just wanted to make an impact on the world really badly. That's just what I wanted to do, and I was like, veganism's the boldest way to do that. So I got
Mm.
caught in it, and it nearly killed me. So it sucks.
I've heard similar stories.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the most unhealthy state you were in your life and kind of describe that for us?
Wow, that's a good one. Um, because I feel like I can approach it from different ways, but I would say probably when I was 20, uh, when I was anorexic, and I was also biking a lot. I kind of had this long-term bike addiction that I had to stop late last year. But I was biking while I was between like 125 to 130 pounds which was extremely underweight and malnourished. I was biking some serious miles too. I was really pushing my body hard. My heart rate really slowed down, and my hormones just tanked terribly low. And so I was just living in denial because when I was 20, and then because when I graduated high school at like 18 years of age, I was really fit, really healthy, and people just didn't recognize me when they saw me later. And I just like, yeah, no, this is me. And just constantly living in denial, constantly irritable, not trusting anyone. Like I got this, not talking to anyone. And yeah, I just really excluded myself. And I really I think I was really close to dying when I was 20. Like they say, like anorexia is the most deadliest psychiatric disorder. And I believe it. People just die either from like their body collapsing from malnutrition, or they end up killing themselves because the depression is too strong. And I don't think I ever got to that point. I like the high that I got from starving myself. I like to see like the fog, the phase, the brain fog, like all that. It just excited me because it scared me and it kept me awake. It kept me alert. It gave me something to look forward to the day. Like the pain kept me awake, and because I felt like I had nothing in my life at that point, nothing to really shoot for, and like just the starvation of veganism was so addicting and just kept me alert. It kept me focused. It kept me focused on pain and pain tolerance and constantly to push, see how far you can go. And I just remember like a few days, within a week before heading, to Hopkins. It wasn't my idea. My mom snuck me in there. She didn't even know how long it was going to last, but it was for 10 weeks for the summer of 2016. And yeah, I think if my mom didn't put me in, not that I'm particularly happy with Johns Hopkins and how they treated me, but if my mom didn't put me into Johns Hopkins or treatment in general to stop me from pushing how far, I think I would have died within a week, that week. I really do. Not to be dramatic, but like, I remember having specific plans of doing these hard fasts mixed with these hard bike rides. And I was fully intent on finding that point where I felt like my heart stopped, because it was very exciting and addictive. I remember it very vividly in my brain, the feeling of your heart slowing down. And it's a very exciting feeling to feel that sort of energy in your body just slow down. And then you're like, it's so ironic, but it forces you to be awake, because it's just like, how far can you go? And it was a bad addiction that I had, was just depleting my body of what it needed. Yeah. So it was bad times when I was 20. And then I just continued it on. And yeah.
That's an interesting story. I feel like it's not that known that this kind of condition can exist. What do you think?
Especially for guys. Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't know that guys. Yeah, so I didn't know that guys got anorexia.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Until I got it.
Yeah. When I say condition, I'm talking about like you were really into kind of torturing yourself.
Yeah.
I know some people they like they cut themselves, but what you were doing was similar in a different way.
Yeah. There's like a term for it. It's called I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's athletorexia, something like that. It's mixed between athletics and anorexia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a real, disorder per se, but it is a thing that people do. They combine like physical activity with anorexia for whatever reason. If it is to like extremely lose weight or the high you get from it, I don't know. But that's kind of what I had.
Okay. I feel like mental issues can have many different forms, but maybe most of the time, modern people only know a few.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you came across Dr. Sean Baker, and maybe yeah, I think you said you came across Dr. Sean Baker and Joe Rogan. Can you kind of talk about what was the main thing that convinced you?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I listened to that podcast episode. So that episode was December of 2017, I believe. But I didn't see it until like July 2018. And I was like, who is this Sean Baker guy? He's a liar. He's gonna die. This is stupid. I had terrible opinions about it. But then I went, a month longer of trying things that weren't working, and I was like, crap, I just have to do this, and it just changed my life instantly. Um, just kind of getting rid of everything and just resetting my body for what it really needed. And it was dramatic. It was just kind of a weird, that was just another cool way to like feel your body. Just, to feel yourself like depleted upon your own, will. And then to like rejuvenate upon your own will is just super weird. And I liked it. And I was happy that I got to that point and that I chose to do something good for me.
But how exactly did you go from having terrible opinions on the diet to like actually want to try it?
Yeah, I think just mainly out of desperation. And I was desperate because I felt like I had tried everything like paleo, gaps, keto, whatever. But then I kept, I couldn't avoid hearing more and more people try carnivore. And like they had something called meatheals.com back in the day. And it was Sean Baker created it, and every day he would upload a different story, a different anecdote of someone healing their body with carnivore. I'm just like, this is insane. Like people are actually like, this is real. Like I don't know how this is real, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm sold, but I'll at least give it a shot because I have nothing to lose by this point. And yeah, lo and behold, it was just great for me. I just had to read. I just had to read other people's experiences through it. I think that helped me a lot, for sure.
Nice. Can you talk about your health state when you were still a vegan compared to after you went meat-based and became a lot healthier?
Yeah, and I remember. I think for quick reference, I remember like before I started carnivore, I was just so weak I couldn't do like any pull-ups at all. Like literally just couldn't. And then by like the third day of carnivore, I was doing like at least 5 pull-ups. And so I remember like I vividly remember that. I was like, oh my gosh, this not that that's particularly many pull-ups, but it's just like I went from 0 to 5 in 3 days of just eating only meat. Like I had so much energy. That was the wild part, was just so much energy like instantly. And I could feel myself at night just growing bigger. I just felt my muscles just like tingle and grow. I felt like I was the Hulk. Every night I just felt like the Hulk just getting bigger. And I put on 15 pounds my first month and another 15 pounds actually the second month. So it's good for the first 2 months, but then it got to be a little bit too much. And I had to figure out the right way to approach carnivore and all that. But yeah, huge difference pretty much immediately. And fortunately, there wasn't like keto adaptation that I needed to go through because I was already so malnourished. I just adjusted to like a high fat lifestyle really instantly. Because my body just needed it. I wasn't really like a sugar addict per se. And so I was just depleted. And so I was honestly kind of lucky with how depleted I was. It made transferring into carnivore a lot easier than other people go through. And I felt the results really immediately because I really needed the nutrition. And that just, went to my brain like, all right, I need to keep doing this. So yeah, my induction to carnivore is a lot easier than a lot of other people for sure.
Do you think it was hard to go carnivore at that time? I imagine you had less resources back then because when I first went carnivore, I think a carnivore diet is pretty easy to do, but it can still be pretty confusing.
Yes, yeah, oh God, yeah. When I first started carnivore, I was still afraid of red meat. So I was an idiot. I was just eating, chicken and pork mostly. I was not eating red meat at all. And now it's funny, like now I don't even eat chicken or poultry. And even though I work on a chicken farm, but like it's just even though it really is like a pretty straightforward diet, there's so many ways to do it and so many ways to honestly mess it up. And I think at first I was getting a lot of good proteins and fatty acids, vitamins, minerals that I really needed, but like my omega-6 to omega-3 ratio was really skewed over time, and I think that was affecting my inflammation. I think that was honestly the cause of a lot of weight gain, was just inflammation from the high pork consumption, the high poultry consumption. And yeah, I just think ruminants have a better, omega-3 to omega-6 ratio just naturally. They're ruminants, not monogastric animals like pigs and chickens are. And so I just think that ruminants are just make meat-based eating a lot healthier and sustainable, and that's something I had to figure out over time.
Okay. What are your thoughts on what you experienced from being a pretty unhealthy vegan to being a healthy carnivore?
Yeah, it shows. I think that the big thing is like it shows that we really don't know what we're talking about in terms of nutrition. It's just that, like, who are you going to trust with nutrition out there? We're just the most confused species. Like, we are at like the top of the food chain, but we're like the fattest, the sickest, most confused. And like, that's just what I've learned this whole time. It's like, well, veganism was supposed to be right. It had all these logical reasons. And then carnivore is supposed to be wrong. It's not supposed to be right. Veganism is supposed to be wrong, supposed to be right. It's so confusing. Like, I'm not confused anymore because I had to go through all that hell to figure it out. And I figured out how to navigate through nutrition research, nutrition like media. But yeah, just like going through that struggle of like not believing certain people and believing other people, and just like you kind of just have to go all in sometimes and just see what happens, and like don't give up too soon on something that you want to try. And it's important to show stories out there and share your stories. And when you read someone else's story, you understand that this might not happen for me, but I just had to try. Yeah, I think that's just kind of what I learned. It's just we just don't know a lot. It's just it's kind of like every man for himself in the nutrition world, I feel like.
That's a nice message. It's important to be aware of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So is there anything else you would like to talk about when it comes to your diet journey? Like the health improvements you saw, things like that.
Yeah. I would say, like it wasn't just constant linear progress. There were some valleys, there were some ups and downs. You really have to, again, like figure it out, what works for you. And it just takes time. It's not going to be a quick fix. Like you can try to do a lion diet, you can go nose to tail. It's going to require some level of research to understand what you're doing. And for me, again, that was like just kind of like a lion diet plus oysters is what I say. So a lion diet's like an all red meat diet, and that helps me. I feel like, and then the raw aspect, I feel like that helps with my energy and just concentration, and just also since I live in a tent, I just don't have a kitchen. It's just that easier as well, convenience. And I will say I'm not particularly concerned with like nutritional deficiencies. I have not gotten blood work, just to be transparent. I have not, but I feel fine. And I just also feel like, just if you feel fine, you're probably fine, is my assumption. I don't know about, like, you have to be honest with yourself. Like, am I functioning well? Am I sleeping well? And I just am. And so I'm not really concerned. I don't have kidney problems, liver problems. Like, I can just feel fine. Like, I know it. And kind of on that note, I will say, like, one of the things that I look out for in eating this way is electrolytes, though. That's something that I've learned is super important. And so I add salt to my water. You know, some people are against salt and raw primal, but I do add it. I think it helps me with energy and, you know, sleep and everything. And I noticed that me in particular, when I have low magnesium, that's when I need to bring the oysters back. Like I'll get irritable, my sleep problems will arise. And so that's something I learned. But other than that, like it's pretty easy by this point. It just takes time.
Nice. So you mentioned you feel better eating raw meat versus eating cooked meat. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a hypothetical question. Because like most people, they are not going to be eating your type of diet, but maybe they will eat your type of diet and cook them. So let's say you are eating your diet right now, but it's the cooked version. How do you think you are going to feel?
Ooh. Yeah. Slow. I would
Oh.
feel slower because I feel like the cooked meat, you can just kind of feel it. It just sits right there in your gut. It doesn't digest as well. Like I feel like it just doesn't digest as well. Like it kind of just sits there. It takes longer to break down, and that requires a lot of energy. And I don't know, like it. And I feel like it because it sits there. My sleep is also disturbed again, and from digesting in. So sleep energy is so much better. Digestion is so much better with raw meat versus cooked. And it just makes sense too. It's just like it's so much more hydrating. There's more like higher water content. Like everything's intact. It's just how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like not to sound dogmatic, but just like it. I feel like it's just perfect the way it is, and yeah, I just think that it is.
Interesting. Do you think the differences are very huge?
No, I with all that being said, I don't. I
Oh.
think that I still think that cooked meat like is still beneficial to the body. It's better than no meat at all. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like raw meat is superior to cooked meat, and I don't feel like cooked meat is inherently bad. I just feel like it's not as good as raw meat, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think like with cooked meat, you are losing some water soluble vitamins. You're definitely denaturing the enzymes and killing off all the bacteria, which I feel like that aids in the digestion of the meat. So I feel like you're just kind of doing yourself a disservice by cooking meat more than, you know, helping you actually digest that meat and assimilate it. Now, cooking does come in handy if you want to make like slow cook tendinous stuff and meat around the bones. Like I want to be honest, like me eating like the sheep all raw, it's a lot harder because I don't slow cook things. It would be a lot easier if I did. I could get more meat. So am I wasteful? Like maybe. I don't know. Like I scrape off a lot of meat though. I take a long time to do that, and then I'll give bones to the dogs, I'll compost, so I don't feel like it's too wasteful.
Mm. Yeah. What are your thoughts on eating raw skin? Yeah, because you kind of mentioned that sometimes you need to cook them in order for them to be more easily eaten. Do you think it's more ideal to cook those, or
Raw what was it? The
let's say let's say skin, because
uh
skin is like pretty tough, right?
mm. Oh, yes. Um yeah, anything that's yeah, like silver skin or has just a lot of tendons to it. It is just tough. Slow cooking it just would be like the way to do it just because there's a lot of collagen and everything, and it's just harder to chew raw. But you can put it in like a meat grinder and then eat it raw. That would probably be a good option. That's kind of what I do.
Oh, so you still in when it comes to those parts, you still think when it is raw is more ideal.
Yep, I still do. I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
it just yeah, just the bacteria, the enzymes, it's just
Mm-hmm.
all is intact. But like breaking it down like mechanically via a meat grinder or a food processor, I think will help the body assimilate it better. just because there's less chewing and breaking down you need to do. So,
Okay, I see. So I think some people, they say maybe it's easier to absorb the collagen or something if you cook the tendons and stuff. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think, yeah. I still think, again, if you grind it really fine, I really think that you'll absorb it fine. Like, I've had a friend ask me this before. We were talking about, like, how do I get collagen or, glycine if I stop, consuming bone broth. I used to consume a ton of, like, slow cooked meat and stock, a few years ago, and I kind of just stopped. And but just ground meats, like getting ground beef at a store, they put those things kind of in the meat sometimes. Like there's silver skin, there's some tendon-ish, there's some cartilage sometimes in there. And when you grind it super fine and you still eat it raw, like you're still gonna, assimilate it and in smaller amounts for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I still feel like you can make raw work in most cases.
Okay. Can you talk about how you process your sheep from when you get it to maybe when you are already hanging it or something?
Yeah, it's fun. At first, obviously, I kill it, and that involves laying it on its left side. I cut it with a knife once, with right-handed, all the skin and gut, everything there. But then I'll bring it back here to the farm, and I have like this little building that I kind of just adopted for myself here. It's the farms, my boss has been nice to me, I guess. But and yeah, I just hang it from a gambrel, and I'll cut them into like kind of like big pieces, like the legs. I'll cut the legs off, the neck. I'll cut the meat in and around the ribs off. I'll just kind of put it in like boxes. I'll shove it into like the walk-in cooler, and then I'll just work it with my schedule because I'm busy here at the farm too, and I also do like kind of side jobs as well. So it's just what my schedule looks like. Maybe I'll get to meat grinding, and I'll grind a lot of it, when I have a day off, and I'll store that into jars and like glass jars. I try my best not to use plastic, of course, but sometimes I will vacuum seal meat into bags. If I really need to, I will do that. It's not ideal. But yeah, it's nothing fancy. Like I'm not an expert with like fancy cuts of meat because I don't really need to be. I'm eating the whole thing raw. I just need to cut it off the bones and I'll eat it as is. So everything is like tartare basically. A lot of scraping off bones, a lot of meat grinding action. So yeah, it does take some time, but I still prefer that over cooking. And there's not a lot of dishes to clean, that's for sure.
Nice. Can you talk about what are some hardest parts in the whole process? I mean, like, for yourself.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because like I was actually just doing this not too long ago. When I had two sheep in there, one of them I was able to cutting the neck off. For whatever reason, I struggle with that. Even though I understand it, you just have to like find the vertebrae, find the the spine basically, and like cut through it. But for whatever reason, sometimes it just takes me so long, and I don't know why. It just does. I can find like the hip joints fine, like cutting the legs off. I can cut just everything out, the loins out fine, but I cut the head off the neck fine, but it's just like the neck off the body for whatever reason. That particular cut, I just always struggle with. I think there's a lot of meat there, and I have to find, the vertebrae exactly. And so I think I just overthink it. But yeah, I still struggle with that. But other than that, that's just a little thing. It's very straightforward and simple process for sure. The whole thing. It just takes some time to figure it out. And I didn't grow up doing this for sure. I've only been doing this, since 2020, I guess. And I've learned a lot just by practicing it. And yeah, I know it can be like overwhelming to start for some people, but it's all pretty straightforward.
Mm. Do you think people should learn to be able to do that?
Um, well, I will say I think if they can, if they have the capability, like the resources to do so, I think you should totally do it. But I don't think a lot of people do, unfortunately. I'm fortunate because Vermont's very rural. It's the second least populated state in the U.S. So there's just a lot of livestock here. There's a lot of homesteaders. There's a lot of farmers. So I have the access to it. I have just the time to do it. I don't have children. I'm not married. I have the time. I think it's just a lot of people, they don't have the time, the resource. They didn't grow up doing this. So I just think it's going to be hard. But I want to encourage people to do it for sure. I encourage people to take that step to at least try to find, livestock and sheep and, start small. Just first start, like buying organs and then going from there, like going to the farm, one thing at a time. And then like once you can mentally work up, like, all right, I can slaughter this animal, like, do a lot of research ahead of time. I did not do enough research ahead of time. And my first few experiences with slaughtering were terrible. And I should have done better, quite honestly. So that's what I tell people all the time. When people come for me to help, I give them tons of resources that I wish I knew ahead of time. Because it was just a disaster. And it shouldn't have been. Fortunately, we have a lot of free resources, like knowledge out there on how to do this, like how to slaughter and skin and gut stuff. Like we have books, we have YouTube, we have media, we have it out there. You just have to find the sheep in your area. And, that just requires asking around.
Mm.
So if you can, you should, is my thoughts.
Mm. Have you ever had a mentor?
Ooh. Most of what I've done is kind of self-taught, but I would say a lot of it is John. John Holmes, who I have been getting sheep from for over a year now. He's who I went to today because I really lucked out meeting John. He doesn't have a website. He doesn't even have a cell phone. But I just kind of discovered him by, asking around, and someone told me his number and I got it and found out he's retired right now, but back in the day he was a teacher and he taught students how to slaughter and skin animals. You can't do that anymore. He did that in New Hampshire in high school. He was a high school teacher teaching students how to like kill cows and then skin them and then gut them. Like that was their class. So I really lucked out in finding this man. He taught me so much, and I'm just so grateful and to have met him. And I'm always learning something new from him. He lets me he's always let me like kind of fool around with skinning or gutting, but then he'll like pitch in like, all right, try this. I'm like, wow, that's so much easier. And I've watched him skin animals too. I'm like, wow, that's so smart. And so, yeah, he's been the biggest mentor for sure. I'm forever grateful to have met him.
Nice. Was it challenging for you at all when you were about to kill your first animal?
Yeah. Yep. It was a goat. And it was small. It was a small Nigerian dwarf goat. And it could fit in like a reusable bag. It was so small. And I was living in an apartment at the time here in Vermont, but I was next to some railroad tracks. So I walked like a quarter mile down the railroad tracks and I went down this field just carrying this live goat. And my heart was racing. All I had was a pig sticking knife. It wasn't even designed for this purpose. My heart was racing. No one was around. I felt like I just committed murder because I kept stabbing the throat. It was to be completely honest, I was like murdering it because I was so afraid. My heart was racing and I didn't have anyone to like guide me through the process. And it was just so much. Now my heart doesn't race at all. It's just like, all right, bend the head back. I'm done. And so I have zero adrenaline now when killing an animal, but now I've killed them that are like 5 times bigger than that first goat that I killed. Yeah, it was a total mess up. It was bad and it should not have been.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think this kind of experiences have helped you in any way? Maybe is it easier for you to talk to girls now or things like that?
Yeah, yeah. I think that wow, it's helped me in a lot of personal ways for sure. Like, sure, like it saves like no, I was like yeah, it saves money because I eat a ton of meat. Learning to slaughter and butcher animals, like it'll save you money in the long run. You just get charged less for more meat than when you go to the grocery store because there's no slaughter fees from slaughterhouses and farmers don't have to like transport their animals, so you cut out the middleman. And that's going to save you so much money on buying meat. So that's an obvious benefit. But like some like personal side effects that I found from it was like it just gave me so much purpose in life. And something that I think about a lot is I kind of mentioned it like my bike addiction. Like everyone who knew me growing up was like I didn't have a car for like 10 years and like I got Prius November of last year, so I had it for almost a year. But like before that, for like 10 years, I was biking everywhere, and it was just my identity. I biked against my will. It was an addiction behind the scenes, and I biked when I was anorexic, when I was carnivore, and I loved it. But last year, it was getting to be a little much, and I was biking because I felt like I didn't really have much more than that as a purpose. And I would bike to the farm and carry the animal back. And as I thought it was cool, but like I was starting to realize like all this biking is getting in the way of how many animals I can really butcher and slaughter. And so after like over 10 years of like having the bike as my identity and like how people knew of me, I had to cut ways with it. And because I was like, no, as I'm getting older, I'm finding more purpose in slaughtering animals and butchering. And like, if I wanted to really step up how many animals I can butcher, I need to get a car. And it was a big deal for me, as silly as that sounds. And I think I really credit like wanting to butcher animals. Like, I think it helped me a lot, like getting past like this need to bike every single day against like my will, so to speak. I did that a lot last year, and yeah, the bike was causing damage to like relationships, and damage to like my potential. And I think again, just like having that reason to, not bike, to have a car or whatever, like, I don't know if that all makes sense, but like butchering just gave me a different purpose other than
Mm.
biking. And I felt like ultimately I just felt like a healthier outlet for me to butcher more animals with my time than to just bike alone. And I feel like I'm doing more service for others by sharing my experiences with slaughtering and butchering animals. Because I feel like by now, like people are starting to like see me and DM me and thanking me and like, if I just kept biking, I wouldn't have all of this. It really was a good trade-off. And so I love butchering for that. It just gave me so much purpose and has really forced me to like look at myself uh differently, the way I do things, and it got me closer to, like there's no life without death and that aspect, and it's just made me like I'm killing this animal like every time. I don't take that for granted. Like even though I have zero adrenaline, now it's just easy, but like I still take every single animal I kill very seriously, and like the thought of really wasting it or not like doing my best on it is just like I don't know. It doesn't feel good, and that just transfers into life itself. I just took this animal's life, and it's for me to be like a good person. I need to be real. Like, what am I doing with my actions daily? And like, it's just a very spiritual connection that I have through slaughtering that I didn't think I was gonna expect, but it's unavoidable. I'm that close. I'm like touching the animal as I kill it, and I'm holding it down, and I caused it to, die. I bleed out, and I'm drinking the blood, eating its whole body. I'm just like, wow, I felt that. I just took this animal's life, and now its life is in me. And so, like, let's do some good. Let's do some good things for people. And so the main thing right now is like just trying to find out what's the most good I can do. Honestly, all in honor of the animal. Seriously, as corny as that sounds, it's just like I'm trying to just honor the death that I caused because it's not fun. It's not fun at all. But like, I'm not going to run away from it, and it just makes me want to live my life more purposeful.
Wow, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Do you think it's human nature to have that kind of feeling? You feel like you take away somebody's life and you want to be a nicer person, or it's just you?
Yeah. It just, in some aspects of that, yeah. Like, I think that, I think hunters really understand. I'm not a hunter by any means. Like, what I do is fake hunting. Let's be real. But yeah, it's just taking the life of an animal, like, and like to nourish you, and like I've just felt that because I know what it's like to be malnourished and then to like feel renourished. It's just, even though it was a while back, I don't forget those feelings. It's just like stuck in my memory. It's just ingrained in my memory, like how bad life can be without meat or animal products in your life and how great it can be. And so, but realizing the fact that meat doesn't come from the grocery store, it comes from the farm, and so to go there, shake the hand that feeds me, so to speak, and then kill the animal, it's just a whole spiritual experience. And it just happens organically. And I think that's missing from like the carnivore diet. We're just talking about macros and protein and avoiding carbs, and meat is just seen as like this commodity product. Like even carnivore people who say like, oh, eat nose to tail, respect the animal, like they've never killed anything. Like, not to sound like it's a flex really, but it's just like it's so different to say it and to actually like do it. Like, yeah, I'm happy to see people eat nose to tail. Like, not everyone can do what I do. I fully understand that. I am very lucky and very fortunate that I have the resources that I do. But yeah, like, I don't know. It just to be part of the process is just everything to me.
Hmm. Nice. Do you still have all your teeth?
Yeah, I never got any teeth removed actually. I never got wisdom teeth removed.
Nice.
I I was fortunate. Like even when I was 16, the dentist was saying like your wisdom teeth, your molars or whatever, like they're growing straight up perfectly. You don't need to get them removed. I don't know why. I think my sister even didn't have to get her removed. So I think we just got really lucky with our teeth.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because in the picture of on your profile, the
Mhm.
transformation post, your jaw definitely looks smaller on the left. And
Yeah.
I was just like wondering if you noticed that maybe you had more space to fit in your teeth after you changed your
Ooh,
diet.
that's such a
But
good
sounds
point.
like you have always been fine.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I feel like the jaw transformation came from like both like fat soluble vitamins from the animal products, and then also just chewing. A lot of chewing on like raw tendons just strengthens the jaw, so to speak. So I think that has helped as well. But I don't
Hmm.
know. I never thought about the spacing part exactly.
Okay, I see. Nice.
Yeah.
Are your teeth straight?
Yeah, I've never had braces, so I think that they've always been pretty straight, in my opinion.
Mm, okay.
I haven't been to the dentist in like over 6 years, but I feel fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything feels good.
You don't need to go to a dentist.
Yeah,
You
I
are
don't
one
think
of
so.
the safest people, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Can you talk about some other more crazy raw foods you have tried that you think most raw meat eaters probably haven't?
Ooh. Yeah. Um, I'm definitely, I've since I was stuck with like the sheep meat for the past few years, but before that, I've had roadkill deer, I guess. Like I've had deer brains and the owl that I told you about. Um, beaver tail that I was talking about as well. I guess just I've eaten, yeah, raw wild birds, sure like that chick, but also like other ones as well. I've had a raw snail with a shell. I don't know.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
very small. I've had like I've eaten like fish raw that were straight from like the ocean. I remember like my cousin caught a fish. off the coast. We were in South Carolina, and so I just ate it raw just for fun. It was dead though. But little things like that, yeah, but nothing like, nothing too crazy anymore. Just sheep.
Did you know it's pretty controversial to eat raw snails?
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I mean, at least in my country.
Hmm.
Because there are some news saying that maybe some people they got like kind of brain dead after they ate some raw slugs or something. And people
Oh, I
always like
haven't
to
heard
say
that.
they have some weird parasites. Yeah, but how true those information is, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah, I don't
I,
know anything anymore.
you probably have, you are probably like, how do you say, like, you probably have more right to talk about this, because you have actually eaten one.
Yeah, yeah.
Was this scary for you at all?
To eat raw meat
Eat
or?
a raw snail.
Um, it was small, granted, and like it was funny. I was just trying to be funny here at the farm, and I was showing a coworker, "Hey, look, a snail," and it was a girl. She's like, "Oh, that's so cute," and then I just ate it, and she was like, just stared at me. I just thought it was funny. I
Okay,
didn't think much
nice.
about it.
Wow, that's epic.
Yeah.
What do you think is like a scarier raw food for you?
Ooh. Wow. I mean, I would say probably like raw, like varmint kind of animals, like let's say rats, mice, raccoons, possums, just because I feel like they're usually in toxic environments and like in really man-made environments, like city stuff. And that's my biggest concern with eating raw meats is like the environment that they're in. Like, did it go through like some rat poisoning? Like, did it like when I saw that owl, even though I was on a mountain, so it felt pretty good. But if I were to find like a dead owl in like the suburbs, I would be very questionable. Like, why is this dead? Did it get into something like polluted, like toxic? So pretty much any sort of like varmint animal that like is in like a very populated area, something like that. So yeah,
Mm. Yeah, I can tell that you are more worried about, I guess, how toxic the animal is rather than how scary eating the animal itself will be, you know?
yep, 100%. I'm not too concerned about eating raw. If it's like a healthy raccoon, sure, whatever, let's do it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard to tell.
Last time I saw a raw meat eater, he was eating a raw frog. What are your thoughts?
I saw a guy eat a raw frog. Um, like a live frog, I guess.
I'm not sure, but it still
Yeah,
had the skin.
I don't see the point why one would do that personally. Like, if you're starving, go for it, but I don't see why just eating a raw frog will make your life better in any way. Just to be completely honest, like I don't know what's so nutritionally unique about it. I just feel like it's gonna be a burden to eat. I just feel like there's a lot of bones in it. Like,
Oh,
what special properties do frogs have to our body that you can't just get from eating raw, ruminant meat? I just feel like it's gonna be annoying to eat. And
mm,
maybe just eating a whole frog raw is super delicious. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't make any
I
sense to
see.
me. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the person was trying to do. Maybe he wanted to just try different animals, or he wanted to get more views.
Yeah.
There, there
Yeah.
can be there can be many reasons you eat something, I guess.
Definitely.
So, do you have a girlfriend now?
I do. Yep. Uh, yeah. So I've been going out with her since February of this year. So yeah, she's great. Claire's her name, and yeah, we live pretty different lifestyles. It helps. It's helpful because she's like super normal and does normal things, but yeah, so we balance each other out.
Nice, nice. So I guess you guys don't live together.
Correct. Yeah, no, she's in a city near me, but I live, in the tent here at the farm.
Hmm. I see. Wow. What kind of diet does she eat?
It's pretty like I don't know, like it's definitely healthy. Like it's whole foods, all that. It's not raw meat at all, really. Sometimes she'll like give her some just for fun, and she'll try it. But no, she's very healthy for sure, and she's great. So we definitely have like our differences. Like we do things differently, I should say. And I feel like that works for us, and because like I don't know I definitely for a while thought because of like how I do things like because I'm just like this raw meat eater guy that I had to like find a raw meat eating girl or whatever. But I'd rather not actually. So I feel like that would just be overwhelming. Like I don't even know that I eat raw meat, quite honestly. I don't even think about it. I just do it, and I care more about like does the person have a strong desire to be healthy, be strong, live a good life. Just those qualities more so than like, does she eat raw meat? And of course, health is nutrition. I think health and nutrition can be approached by a lot of different ways, but more than so than just raw meat. So it's yeah, that's what I think at least.
Hmm. Do the people that follow you on your Instagram know that you have a girlfriend?
Some of them do. Uh, yeah, she's
Basically,
not.
I'm trying to say, have you talked about that on your Instagram?
I guess not. No, It's funny because like I mainly just on my end. She's been on a few of my posts for sure, but I just never really bring up like friends, family, relationship stuff on Instagram per se. Like I don't avoid talking about it, but Instagram first and foremost for me has just always been like an outlet to show like my health and what I'm doing more so than just like for some people they have Instagram or social media just like share what they're doing with their friends or family or whatever. Like I just never really got into that part. But yeah, definitely I know that's something I've been thinking about. Like, it would be cool to bring other people, girlfriend, friends, family, whatever. I started bringing us and my family into some of my posts. So yeah, I'm trying to get just more people in my life into that for sure.
Hmm. Okay. So I guess when you guys first knew about each other, she already knew your diet.
Yep, yeah, yeah. And so, because that was always concerned with me, it was just like, yeah, I feel like for most girls, like this is probably not exactly gonna be thrilling to be with a guy that like only eats raw meat. And so I doubted for a while. I doubted a lot of girls for sure. Just like I could tell, to be completely honest, there was a while where I felt like I could tell when a girl was into me, interested in me, but I just felt like it was just kind of surface level. They didn't really like, and like once they got to know me, see like the way that I ate and did things, I don't think they would find that attractive. I think they found like me on the surface level again, like kind of attractive to be around or whatever. But so I was very particular and picky with girls, and for sure. But I knew Claire for a while, and she knew about me, like how I do things, and she found it interesting, I guess. And I was like, all right, if you say so, we can go from there. Um, but yeah, it's the raw meat thing. It's hard, to navigate through with like relationships. Just like again, like we were talking about restaurants earlier. Like I can't stand restaurants, just even before the raw meat thing. And now I really can't stand them even more now to eat raw meat. Um, and so like, how do I do that? And like, or like holidays or whatever. But it's just like you have to find some flexibility. I feel like for sure. But overall, we're working out it pretty well. We don't really go on like dates with like restaurants or whatever. We just hang out. We go on walks. Our schedules, sometimes align up where we'll slaughter a sheep together. So that works out well.
Oh, so she's like your coworker?
Yep. 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 Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you guys hang out with each other pretty often?
I would say so. We see each other like every day, actually.
Oh, nice.
Technically. And
Okay.
one aspect or another, yeah. Just like at the farm or just going to Burlington. Like actually, before this interview, we went to the sauna together. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah, do things like that. So anything
okay,
like,
good.
yeah, anything that's like kind of like health, fun related, that's just what I'm into more so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think eating a raw meat diet will make it harder for guys to date?
Yep, 100%. That's something that 100%. So that's something I've worried about for a long time. It's just like I felt like I had to choose between my diet or girls for sure. I feel like I got lucky with Claire. That her, her friends, her dad, her family, just like because I think that's why you have to be like a nice person, like a normal person, which I try to be, and because if you're kind of just like not like an exciting or fun person to be around, and you eat raw meat, then you're screwed. You know, so you have to at least act normal. Then you have a chance. But like, yeah, just people really like live to eat in this world, and I don't understand it personally. I eat to live. Food is just purely fuel for me. Like, period. In a story, it's nothing flashy. Like, I eat to like do things. I eat to be healthy. I eat to work or whatever. Like, and raw meat is just perfect for that. But I know a lot of people, especially in relationships, dating, whatever, food is festive and fun, and I don't get it personally. So yeah, I think raw guys or gals that eat raw meat, like, yeah, I think you're screwed. I think it's very not screwed, but I think it's very hard. It's very challenging, especially if you want to find someone that doesn't really eat raw meat themselves, like the other person. But fortunately, with social media, I've seen people connect online within the raw space. So I'm happy to see that. So I think it'd be easier to find a partner that also eats raw meat for sure. But again, realistically, like for me personally, I think I would do better if she didn't, because I think it balances me out in a way, and just be, yeah, yeah, that's what I think.
Nice. You got into some. I think you got into some red pill ideology there. Basically, if you eat raw meat, that's like a minus for your attractiveness, but you can bump that up with some other aspects.
Oh, 100%. Like
That's interesting.
yeah, like if you're gonna eat raw meat, like you have to be that means you also have to be very nice and very normal, very calm. Because like if you're not, like, it just shows that what you're doing is just making you a creep or whatever, and like that's just not good. But
Mm.
yeah, so I don't know.
You know what? I feel like actually a good amount of ramen eaters, they are not super nice in a way. They are a little like agitated.
It's so weird. Like they're not doing a good job proving their point that raw meat is a health food, because they're all insane. Not them all, but like like a lot of them are just so angry and aggressive, and like trying to make themselves look cool and trying to look flashy, and like, oh look, I'm eating this raw whatever, and like I don't care. you know like it just that's great. They just wanted like an award, I guess. I don't know. It's just like they're just so nasty sometimes to people, and I just don't get it. um like raw meat is just such a wild thing in this world for many reasons. And so if you want to prove it, you have to be a good person. You have to be a business card for what you believe in, and so if you're just going around yelling and screaming at people, belittling people, it's just like you're doing a terrible job for like the raw meat, like promoting, because it looks like the raw meat's just turning you insane, like a zombie. It's just so I tried to do
Mm.
that oppositely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nice. Yeah, I feel like some people they can seem like condescending. They feel like everyone is so dumb and something. You know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I feel like it's definitely important to talk about this. Maybe like some people they don't realize that they have a strong passion to spread awareness, but they don't know that they should approach it in a better way. So
Yeah,
it's
no, I
nice
agree.
that we were talking about this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, let's talk about something interesting. So you have shared that you drink someone's menstrual blood before. Have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
done that many times?
No, there's honestly just that one time.
Oh, okay.
I was really nervous about that actually when I did that. That was a few years ago. And yeah, I didn't post that for a long time, but I after doing that, but I did. It was I was living in this wild sheep house commune thing, and there's this one girl I was who lived, I guess, housemates or whatever, and she said she saved her menstrual blood to put into like smoothies. So I was like just jokingly like, all right, save me some. I didn't think she was gonna do it, but sure enough, she did. And I stared at it for days in the fridge. And then she texted me one day. She was like, Frank, if you're not going to eat this, just let me know so I can put it in my smoothie. It's like 9 days old. And I'm just like, fine, I'll drink it. So it was like 9 days old menstrual blood. And because I wanted to like, I felt like my reputation was on the line here. And so I had to film it too. And I was just nervous for whatever reason, but really it wasn't much taste. It was just like iron and like irony, tasting minerally. And yeah, it was congealed. So yeah.
So that girl, she regularly incorporate her menstrual blood into her diet.
Uh yeah, as far as I know, she's definitely done it many times. I haven't,
Oh,
I don't know what she's up to now, but yeah,
wow,
I've seen her put it in smoothies. It's pretty
interesting,
wild.
nice. Do you think it's worth it to drink someone else's menstrual blood?
Not really.
But
No, I mean,
it's
I guess
definitely fun to talk about.
maybe there's like stem cells in it. I'm not sure. Uh, Unique properties to it. Like I know some girls they'll put it like on their skin, on their face, and to like make their skin look better or whatever. Uh, but you can live just fine without drinking menstrual blood. Like it's not gonna it's not the fountain of youth. It's not gonna make you live forever.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned that the girl she eats a pretty good diet, right? I think you said you are not going to eat a modern person's menstrual blood.
Like I would only consume someone's menstrual blood if they were like healthy. So yeah, it's
Mm.
kind of like animals, what environment are they in? Are they healthy or not?
Mm. I don't have too many questions left, but it says that your battery is dying. Do you think you can charge your phone?
Oh yeah. I have my charger right here.
Nice.
That's crazy that you were able to see that.
Oh,
I didn't realize that.
yeah, the platform can notify me.
Yeah, let me.
So this is like an office at your workplace?
Yeah, I'm in the office right here. It's funny, like, someone. I was kind of like looking over there because someone had actually kind of like walked in, and I was like, "Oh
Oh,
God!" I was like, "Please don't walk in." But she's fine. She poked her head in and then walked out. But
oh, okay.
yeah, so but it's fine. Like no one's here. She lives in her truck, so on
Oh,
site. So
okay.
she was just poking in.
I was going to say you can scare them with the sheep's head, but I guess they won't be phased.
Yeah, they know. They all know me by now.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, because I know, I guess you guys kill chickens a lot at your job, right? So your
Mhm.
coworkers are probably not going to be scared of a raw lamb head.
Oh yeah, not at all. We see guts and all that every day. We just get used to it. So yeah.
Wow, nice. Have you heard of urine therapy?
Yeah, yeah. uh, what is it called? Like uropathy or something like that.
Oh,
Uh, I think so. Uh, yeah, I got big into that 6 years ago. Also pre-Instagram. I drank my morning urine a lot. I will say that.
wow.
I also I went through a big urine therapy phase. I drank it. I did urine eye drops. I put it on my face. I put it in my hair. I even did my laundry in my urine, and it makes your laundry super soft. I'll say that. And so I would. It sounds super dumb, but I was living in an apartment at the time in 2019, and I would put my laundry in like this, what is this, like water jug gallon thing, and I would just pee in it regularly, and it would just age with my clothes. And then I would go to the stream nearby, and then I would tie a line through my clothes and let the stream just wash out everything. And as it flowed, and then it made my laundry super soft. Super weird side of me that I did that. I'm never gonna do that again, just because I have to be normal now, I guess. But it's it's what I've read that I think it's like the Greeks, Roman, whatever. They had like that was like their job. Someone's job was like wash clothes and urine or whatever. It's pretty wild to think about, but it's
Oh,
legit. So I don't like I drank my own urine a ton back in the day, but like I also don't know like if that's really necessary. Yeah. Yeah. I think that it has its benefits, but I don't know. Some people really praise it, and I'm not sure if it's really, really that good. Or as good as they
mm.
say, I should say.
So I guess your overall stance is that it's kind of good.
I don't think it's bad, for sure. I don't
Uh
think that
huh.
it's bad. But like to say that it's like this healing elixir and all that people say, like I'm not convinced.
hmm
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I don't think that's like changing people's lives. Maybe I'm wrong, but ultimately I
Oh,
feel like nutrition was going to change your life more than urine therapy.
nice. Wow.
So,
Wow. It's very cool that you were already doing that so many years ago.
yeah, it's been a while.
That's so cool. Did you get inspired by anyone?
Mm, not
I think
particularly.
I want to kind of elaborate. I think it's already not easy to come across this kind of information. It's even harder to actually try it.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
I would agree. And again, I was doing this in 2019 before I even like started Instagram, but like I do see guys on Instagram talk about it now, like Troy Casey, certified health nut. He talks about drinking urine and Shivambu, which is for fermented urine. He talks about drinking that all the time, and he does a good job at saying why it's good. And it does make me wonder, like maybe I should get into it again. um, but I just never think about it. I don't know because I feel like I didn't feel like any sort of tangible difference when I was drinking it versus not, and that's all. That's really like why I would consistently do something if like, all right, I actually feel a difference here, but I just never really felt a difference.
I see. Nice.
Mhm.
How did it taste?
It can change like depending on how much water you drink for sure. Like if you drink a lot of water, it's going to taste pretty clear, not as salty or strong. But if you're like kind of dehydrated and like you haven't had a lot of water, it's just going to taste stronger, so to speak.
Oh.
Um, but it's not bad. I will say like I don't know if I'm sure I've tried like aged urine, but the way that Troy Casey does it, he has like really aged jars of aged urine that he'll drink sips of that I'm sure he says it just tastes like pure ammonia. And I haven't done anything like that. So
Mm. How do they ferment their piss or like age? Just put it
it just
outside.
with time. Yeah, you don't
Oh,
add anything to it. It's just you pee in jars and you just let it sit in like a dark area, and then it just changes
okay. Do you need to like
naturally.
have airflow or you close the lid?
Ooh. Close. Yeah, like close the lid. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. I think you just close the lid because it's just, to be honest, it's just gonna smell terrible. And so you just want to keep
Mm,
it closed.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
because we are already talking about this, have you eaten poop before?
I have not. I know people have. I've seen people do that on Instagram, and I've wanted to do that with like cow feces, just because I've read about it. Um, but like, I don't know. Like, I guess also again, I don't really see that. If I felt like I could do that and like feel some sort of difference in my life, then I would do it. But like, maybe I should try it and just like see if I feel any different. But if I do it, like I just don't feel different or whatever, I'm just not going to keep doing that. But I don't know. I guess it makes sense. Like inoculate your body with that kind of bacteria. I get what people say, but I honestly don't see myself doing that.
Mm, okay, okay. Yeah. Let me kind of talk about my experience with urine therapy in a way. I want to share with the listeners. So let's see. One time, one time, this part of my finger, there was a pretty big wound for whatever reason. It just started to become swollen, and then eventually it popped out. It burst. So I had a
Mm.
big wound, and it was pretty painful. So I wanted to accelerate my healing process. So I soaked my finger into my piss for just like I tried to incorporate that into my life for a few days, but I didn't notice a major benefit. Yeah, so I just want
Mm.
to, and I actually accidentally spilled the piss.
Oh, really?
So it's tricky to clean up the room a little because I needed to. Yeah, I'll just say this because my girlfriend she probably won't hear this, but I was worried that my girlfriend will find out, so I wanted to like hide out the smell.
Oh, wow.
Because yeah, I was trying to like clean out the floor.
God.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was inspired by the natural human diet. He shared like he
Uh,
read a book about urine therapy, and I think he said that it can help you heal your wounds or something. So I
mm,
experimented with that.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think you have eaten the grass into a ruminant animal's stomach, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's called chyme. Uh, it's kind of like the pre-digested grasses of the ruminant of the animal in the stomach, and yeah, I just kind of read that like the Inuit would do that. Like they would, I forget how it would be like caribou chyme or elk chyme that they were eating. I don't even know why they were doing it, but it's terrible. And like you just kind of like depending on how digested it is, it's just like you're chewing on the grasses, like you're chewing out the juices that just taste terrible. And I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there's like good bacteria in it. I don't really like eat for just strictly for bacteria. I eat for like nutrition reasons. And I just don't know like what nutrition I'm getting from that. I don't know. So I've done it for fun, but
Mm-hmm.
that was years ago.
Nice. Okay. Good. I know you have also tried. Like, I guess you deliberately ate some bile. Do you want to talk
Yes.
about that?
Yeah, bile's great. Now bile is something that I always notice it different from when I get like a gallbladder that's filled with bile, because not all the time the gallbladder is very filled. The gallbladder gets very filled up with bile when it's like when the sheep is expecting food or expecting water. So when you deprive an animal of food or water for a little bit, the bile and the gallbladder will just increase because it's anticipating food or it's anticipating water or whatever. And so sometimes I get a gallbladder that's super full and sometimes I don't. And so whenever I get a really, like a lot of bile. I love to consume that because it's just like the greatest digestive aid ever. It just, I don't know, not that I really need it, but it makes me feel really good. It tastes really bad, but it makes me feel really good afterwards. Yeah, no, I love it. I don't know nutritionally what's unique about it, but it just feels like pure electricity for sure.
Nice. Can you talk about what do you look for in a girl?
Yeah, I would say, that's changed over time. Like as I like, as I get older, like I had to realize what's important, what's not. And I would say, kind of like I was mentioning earlier, it what's most important to me is like ambition. I think ambition is the biggest thing that I find most attractive. Like ambition to just be more than who you are as a person, like the ambition to improve and like the willingness and the consistency, like to do more than just say it, but to like consistently put in the effort, just to improve yourself, to like do, you know, everyone has like their problems, their struggles, or whatever. We're each unique like that, and so it's more than just like, oh, I want someone that eats raw meat. Like, sure, whatever, but like, I want someone that acknowledges some their weaknesses or struggles and consistently works to improve. I find that to be most attractive, because that's just that's what I do. That's why I eat raw meat. It's just like I was tired of being weak and unenergetic and all I don't know all this stuff, and I just found that this has been helpful. It's just a tool for the ultimate goal.
Hmm.
So goal oriented and highly ambitious.
Mm, nice. Do you want to have kids?
Yeah, that'd be great. Um, I've definitely the past 2 years I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. Like I have to get this done, and I've lowered the pressure on myself to have children, just because I need to be practical, and because like I don't have a degree. I'm never going to get like a fancy high paying job. I can still try to like make other work happen that where I can like afford to have a child, and obviously, whoever I'm with, and like if they have a good job, then like we can like make it work. That would be great. I would love to be a father for sure, but I also have to be realistic. Like just the way I've set my life up, that that might not happen, and I'll probably just accept that.
What about your girlfriend? What does she think?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, but I'm not really sure. She's a little bit younger than me, and she's definitely not ready for it right now. I mean, neither am I. Like, just financially or where we're at in our lives, we're just not ready for that.
Mm-mm.
But in general, she's definitely not opposed to it, having children.
Mm.
I think she's in the same boat as me. Definitely not opposed to it. Would love to have them, but you know, also realistically, practically, like if we're just in jobs that it makes it hard to like support, then that's just not going to turn out well, and it just is what it is.
Mm-mm. Okay. How do you feel about the fact that you need to have a lot of money or like enough money to raise children?
It's sad. Um, and I realistically, I don't know. Like, I've never done the research as like how much money does one need to raise children properly. All I know is that I don't have enough. uh, and I don't have I live in a tent. I don't have a house or whatever like that. I'm 30 and just like so I just need to figure some things out. And I mean, yeah, just the cost of like supporting a family is it's just a lot. And I don't know the exact number, all that, but again, I just know I don't have that. And maybe if I can figure out how to get that, that would be great. But if I can't figure that out, or if that just doesn't happen, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Because yeah, it would be great, but then like yeah, I don't know. If I don't have children, then of course I would have more freedom for myself. Not that I say that like in a really positive way. Like I wish I would love to like have the capability to provide and be of service to a family, but like if I have more freedom to myself, I can still do good for the world, you know, and provide something. which would be also really
Okay.
great.
Okay. I see. So, um, I have a bit of a more personal question,
Mhm.
and this is for like scientific purposes. So, I want to know what are your thoughts on wearing condoms?
Yeah, I don't wear them. Uh, like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like them, I guess.
Oh.
Uh, I never thought much about them. Uh, I guess there's latex in them, and like maybe that's not good. I don't know too much about them. I know that we used to make them out of like pig intestines, and those are probably better. But like, yeah, like I don't like to wear them. I don't like to use them.
mm, okay. I see. So it's not for some spiritual reasons. It's just like you don't
Mm.
prefer it.
Yeah,
Oh,
correct. Yeah,
okay. So like when you are doing that with your girlfriend, you just don't wear it.
correct. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really? But you don't think you will like accidentally have some children?
I, I hope not. Uh,
Huh?
yeah, no. I so far so good.
I see. I see.
So I'll just
Hmm.
continue what I'm doing, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
that it just keeps working out that way.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess
Yeah.
even if you end up having a child, you can probably work that out.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay, no worries.
Let's see. Yeah, because like in the transformation photo on your Instagram, on the left side you were wearing glasses, and on the right side you weren't. But in our previous conversation, you told me that you just stopped wearing glasses, and you think your eyesight is not that good. First of all, why do you say that? Why do you say your
Um,
eyesight is not that good?
well, because I mean, I still can't really see too far away. I can just notice that, but like, uh, maybe my eyesight's improved a little bit over time. I know that there's ways to improve your eyesight and like sun gazing or like the Bates method, like eye exercises, and I've dabbled into that a little bit, but nothing too consistent to really like make it happen. Uh, or like yeah, staring off to the distance at an object. I know that people have said that that works, and it's very doable. But yeah, I know that my eyesight's not the greatest, but I just realized at the time, like wearing like the glasses, I felt like I didn't really need it, and I I just kind of stopped, and I stopped when I learned like yeah, oh, I don't really need to wear glasses, and like I can actually improve it, and maybe I improved a little bit comparatively, but still like I definitely have a long way to go if I expect like 2020, that's for sure.
Okay. Do you know what was your glasses prescription?
I think like 2070, like.
Oh,
If
okay.
that makes sense. I don't know. It's been so long. I stopped wearing them
Mm-hmm.
also in 2019. I kind of just stopped.
Mm.
Yeah, I have been to an eye doctor in so long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting you said that because I would assume your eyesight has gotten a lot better because I feel like you live a pretty natural lifestyle. You are like not staring at screens a lot, but I guess there are still some other things you need to focus on in order to actually improve your eyesight.
Yeah, and I mean I've seen guys talk about like sun gazing has helped their eyesight, and that's great. And maybe I should do that more consistently. But like I can't hide the fact everyone knows I'm not here. Like my eyes aren't the greatest. Just is what it is. And I've known people who are like hardcore video gamers and their eyesight's 2020. I'm just like, what the
Mm-hmm.
heck? And like I don't play video games. I'm not like that at all. My eyesight's worse. It's just how it is sometimes. It's genetic. I mean, I think just run. I think genetics do play a role in it, and like my mom's like that, my dad, and my family. Like, no one's like blind, but a lot of people in my family do have glasses, and I think there's some genetics to it.
Mm, interesting. Do you think a vegan diet can be healthy?
Short term, I do. I think, yeah, I think for context, it depends. Like, if you're overweight and you need a short term fix, like a detox, depending how like overweight you are, how sick you are, like sure, go for like a celery juice cleanse for like a month. Like knock yourself out. That'd be great. But like an actual vegan diet for like a long-term lifestyle, I feel like that can only work with proper supplementation from what I've seen. Like people have really taken a ton of supplements and vitamins or whatever, and just like, yeah, I was even trying to do that. And I still failed it. But I just think it's so expensive to get all the supplements to like make that work, like B12 and iron and zinc. Like I don't even know what else, but it's just so much that I've seen people have to do to like make veganism work and just like eat meat instead. It's like literally like all the nutrients that are like highest in a steak is like what they're supplementing with. And there's like eat the steak. It's not synthetic. It's just it's so weird to me.
Do you think your family is healthy?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
you know, definitely like my mom, she's really big on like the Weston A. Price stuff, and so she, no one really eats like raw meat like I do, but my mom and stepdad, they like, organ, like liver, whatever, they'll have beef liver. They, really high quality eggs and broth or kimchi or whatever. Just what
Oh,
really a lot of Weston A. Price stuff, and some family members are healthier than others, that's for sure. But yeah, overall pretty healthy.
nice. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
So I guess you know about a guy called ethically carnivore, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, we've we've been in contact for sure. He's invited me last year to this time last year. I think he was in New Jersey, but he was like, "Yeah, come down to New Jersey and we'll kill some things, and it'd be a great collab." So he's invited me to collab with him. Now I believe he's back in Florida. He's a really nice guy, honestly. I know on his content he comes across as, to be honest, very crazy and like insane and aggressive, but like we have shared messages with each other, and he's a pretty intelligent man. I will say that. And he's actually very nice.
Mm,
And I am surprised. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like I I'm not as intense as he is, and I don't do as intense stuff that he does. Like he will eat, raw, the possums, raccoons, armadillos, turtles, and alligators, snakes, and all that. He eats all that raw, even with like flies and maggots all over it to prove a point. So he is, you know, him and I have very different personalities, but I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's doing stuff that no one else is doing in terms of like the germ terrain theory, and he knows his stuff. He's a very smart guy. Like he writes very well. And I think a lot of people wish that he didn't write so well so they could hate on him more, but he's putting in the work for sure. And it's crazy the amount of like science that he can put out in his posts. So I think it's
mm.
great. I'm happy that he's around. He does things like that because I think someone needs to do it. I don't particularly want to do what he does. I like to slaughter and butcher and sheep or whatever. If we ever did hang out, I would do whatever he does for sure. I'm not too concerned because he's living evidence. He's living proof, and he also looks very healthy. He's in great shape. He's very strong. So it's been a while since we chatted, but yeah, I think he's doing cool stuff.
Hmm. Actually, I think it kind of makes sense that you say he's smart because you need to be smart enough to do what he's doing in a
Yeah,
way.
definitely.
Hmm. Nice. Actually, I think what he is doing is not that obnoxious compared to some other people because he's pretty much just eating. He's not really like belittling people.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, he puts himself out there for sure. I mean, people call the cops on him when he's eating raw raccoons in public. He's like, "What am I doing wrong?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, what is he doing wrong? I guess they can't find an answer." You know, he's smart. He's like, where's it saying in the law that I can't eat a raw raccoon at the park? And it's like,
I
yeah,
guess I guess it would be a little more peaceful, for lack of a better word, that he eats alone in maybe his own home. Like if he eats in public, it's more controversial. Maybe people will have more things to say. But overall, I still think he's not that horrible in a way.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you brush your teeth?
Yeah, pretty much like once a day, if I remember. I use baking soda. I've used baking soda for over 10 years now, just straight up baking soda and like a toothbrush, like a wooden toothbrush or whatever. That's basically what I do. I haven't used like traditional toothpaste in a very long time, over 10 years.
Wow, nice. I would like to know how you would want to raise your son versus your daughter.
Oh, interesting. Uh, wow. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot in my life that I had wish I had things that I wish I had done. And I don't want to like live vicariously through them per se, but like I things that I wish I had done differently growing up. I wish that I strived to have connected more with other people. I wanted to make friends for various reasons. I always chose to like, go about life on my own terms, to distance myself from people. That's a whole other long story, but like, yeah, I think I'd want, my son to be like socially well off more than I was, and I want him to do club. I never really did clubs or sports per se. I'd want him to participate more, and I definitely want him to be healthy. I wouldn't really expect him to just be this whole all raw carnivore. That's not realistic, and people wouldn't like that, and that would probably get me in trouble. But I would be doing that next to him, and he could see me do it for sure. And he would definitely be eating raw meat for sure, but exclusively, yeah, probably not realistic. But like Weston A. Price stuff for sure, or paleo, like raw, cooked, whatever. Sure, put fruits and vegetables in as well. Like nothing too crazy, but definitely want him to be eating healthfully for sure and participating in things, not being like a loner or whatever. So that's important to me.
Mm-hmm. What about if you want to like raise your daughter? What would
Yeah.
change?
I don't know if anything would really change that much. I would still
Oh.
want the same for them. I I feel like, to be honest, like I would definitely want like her mother to be there for her, because like a lot more than maybe like me, just because like I just not an expert in what like a growing girl like needs to be successful. Like I feel like I can raise a son better than a daughter just because I am a guy. But like in general, I'd want her to be a good, healthy, girl. I want her to like have a lot of friends, do good service, good for the world, and just kind of go for there. Then I want the mother to like definitely hone in on other things that I just can't catch, I guess. So that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it will be a problem if your daughter has a high body count?
If my daughter has a what?
Has a high body count?
Oh, um, wow. Uh, I don't know. I would probably be like, you know, I think do do things with intention. Like to base guys off of like, do you really like them? Like, are they a really good guy? Do they, exhibit really good characteristics? And do you potentially see yourself like really connecting with them beyond, just sexual or whatever? Don't just go for the sexual side of it, because that's just not going to get you anywhere. Like, look further down the road, yeah, which you can't really know at a young age, but like, so yeah, I guess it depends. I'd want her to know what a good guy is, and that's just going to take time for her to understand and for her to like just figure out on her own. But like, yeah, the idea that the high body count, like I don't know. Ideally, sure, no. I'd want her to find like a good guy like as soon as possible. The idea should be like find a good guy that you would want to like be with, and I feel like that should be the idea. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not going you're not going to find them right away most likely, but that should just be the idea that you're with a good guy, and that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then so look at his characteristics first, and then just go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if girls have that kind of mindset, they shouldn't have a too high body count, I guess.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Are you aware of any other people that are like you and ethically carnivore that eat some more unusual raw foods?
Um, like I did see the video of a guy, he did eat that frog. I did see that. I saw a guy, he like put a live frog in a jar, he shook it up, and then he just ate it. And I don't know what that was about. Uh, I've seen a guy, what did he do? He ate, oh, he like, I don't know if this is real, but he killed his pet snapping turtle and then ate the liver raw. I don't know who that was.
Oh.
Um, and then, yeah, and then I know, oh, I forget the guy's name, but he's really popular on Instagram, and he'll like put like his girlfriend's vaginal juices, whatever, into raw milk to like clabber it faster. And I forget that guy's name. But he's big on Instagram for sure and TikTok. So yeah, other than that, like I'm sure they're out there, but and also like Scott Hall, he's like the OG raw primal guy. But I know he's like big in like raw meat, raw milk, and celery juice and butter and all that. Um, I've seen him eat like goat poop or something like that. Uh, but yeah, no, that's all I can think of.
Nice. Okay, good, good, good. So because you mentioned Scott, I want to know what are your thoughts on him.
um, yeah, I'm not a big fan, to be honest. I mean, maybe I've never met him. We've had like maybe two messages back and forth a long time ago, and it basically was just him telling me that I was wrong and that I'm doing everything wrong, as he usually does. He loves to point out when people are doing things wrong. And this was like 3 years ago, though. But the good thing is, I'm not trying to do raw primal. Like, I'm not trying to, do everything that Oj and Spawner Planets, preach about. And that's what Scott is doing. So, like, I mean, good for Scott. We probably need someone like him to really, like, carry the torch, so to speak, of what raw primal is and, like, its truest aspect. And I don't really know of anyone else who's doing like the raw primal diet quite like him. Now, not to spread rumors, but I've met people who have met him, and it's pretty well known he does like LSD, and he's on things like that behind the scenes. Maybe I shouldn't share that, but like I don't know the guy, but like I find that kind of disappointing. When you're going to preach this and just like you're doing some hard drugs, so I find that little rough. And yeah, I mean the dogmatic side of him, sure, like that is hard. I don't think most people really want to be around that, but at the same time, maybe people should. I don't want to be around it personally, and I don't think that most people need to. I think his attitude is more off-putting than inviting.
Mm, okay, it's interesting to know what you said.
Mm.
Well, it sounds a little obnoxious how he tried to say you were wrong. That's not
Yeah,
solicited, right?
yeah. It's just like he sent me a message like, "You're doing this wrong. You're not. Like I needed to mix pineapple with the
What
meat
the
and
fuck?
all this. So he gave me this list of like things I need to do or something. Like that's great, dude. We've never followed each other, and like that's the thing too. Like for years I've seen him. Like he'll end Instagram, delete all his posts, and do all this stuff. He'll get thousands and thousands of followers. That's like some viral reels, and they don't delete everything. Said he's not coming back, but then he does, and he can't make up his mind sometimes. And which is fine. Things happen in people's lives, I guess. But like, yeah, it's just like I've seen the guy just back and forth on Instagram with all sorts of things, and I just get dizzy trying to follow him.
I see. Okay, good. Do you have any interview suggestions for me? You can
Ooh.
suggest me like a not very known person. I don't mind.
I would say Derek Nance. Are you familiar with Derek Nance? He's basically the guy. He's in Kentucky. He's why I slaughter sheep to begin with, and why I eat raw sheep.
Oh.
I don't like to like say like I came up with this idea to slaughter sheep. Everything I got was from him. I literally just copying what Derek Nance does. He's not on social media. I know that you like oh wow was it the real natural human diet guy? Wes and him they're close friends. Liam of like Beyond Terrain guy podcast. He's interviewed Derek Nance, so his contact is out there. I've never contacted Derek Nance, but like I don't want to like steal all the credit. Like I've literally just copied him. I saw him in 2019 online, and it's like I gotta do this. If you can get ethically carnivore, that would be an exciting podcast for sure. And you know what? Even Scott Hall, despite all the bad things I said, you can get him on. Definitely just top people like that. Yeah, those would be great.
Those are some nice suggestions. So can you talk about what are your goals?
Yeah. Goals as of right now. The season's coming to an end at the farm. I have like a month left, and so I need to figure out winter. I'm looking for a stable career. I'm done with seasonal work. I want a stable shelter, nothing like a tent anymore. I love to live like in a tiny house. I love to establish, my relationship better. I would love to, yeah, like, my relationship better, with Claire, and just keep going with that. That's really important to me. And, definitely career wise, like something physically active outdoors, landscaping, tree work, something that I can, go up the ladder, so to speak, and make more money, hopefully start a family. Yeah, it's mainly just stability of everything. Stable shelter, stable career, stable relationship, stable income. That I'm just all trying to narrow down right now. And really just trying to settle down somewhere. Probably most likely, be up here in Vermont and just keep, I want to keep butchering sheep, and just keep showing that. Nothing too crazy, just constantly keep putting out there like, hey, you can kill sheep. It's going to be fun. It is a thing that people can do. You can do it. And just to be supportive of like on-farm slaughter and just be an advocate for it. That's mainly what I'm using Instagram for right now. It's just, I just want to be an advocate for like on-farm slaughter. Just some minor health things that I feel like aren't too crazy that you can do as a person.
What do you think your happy life looks like?
Ooh, happy life. Yeah, pretty much all that, like stable. I would love to, live in a clean environment, have a wife, children. It doesn't need to be a huge house, but big enough for all of us. And honestly, like, I don't really care to like raise sheep, but I would like to have access to kill them at least, and to have a way to preserve it well, like a dry aging hanging setup. And so yeah, just that's really it. I just want stable, just stability, and just because I feel like I haven't had a lot of that between like my health problems and then seasonal work and then living outside, and so it's just I would love like some stability for sure, and that would just make me happy.
Mm-hmm. I see. Ideally, what would you want to spend most of your time doing?
Mm. Well, I mean, it would be cool to be like a mobile butcher, where I do that for a living, where like I have a nice big truck and I go to the farmer and like that's how I get paid. He pays me to like slaughter and skin and gut, cows, sheep, pigs, or goats, whatever. Like that would be a fun job, but that would be fun like to slaughter more. But really, just any cool job outside. I just don't want to be really inside working, and so just trying. Maybe that's like being a tree climber, like an arborist or something, and or doing something landscaping again, like just spending a lot of time outside, in like a clean environment, doing good things is whatever that could be. That could be many things for sure, in my opinion, and so that's just what I want to do.
Okay, this is our last question for this interview because I think you are pretty, how do I say it? You are something in the meat-based diet community. So I just would like you to say something to the meat-based diet community.
Oh, say what was that? Like,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me ask it again. Yeah, because I think you are a pretty unique figure in the meat-based diet community. So my last question would just be, do you have anything that you want to say to the meat-based diet community?
ooh, yeah, yeah. You know, kind of just have fun with it. Don't treat this like a cult. Don't be too dogmatic with it. Remember, just remember where you're coming from with it. Remember that this is for your health. This is for your life, and your health is ultimately for others. Is the way I look at it, and because again, like I kind of mentioned earlier, like I know what it's like to be a burden to others, and ultimately why you're a burden to others is because you're unhealthy, and you want to address your health problems so you're not a burden to your friends, your family, society, and don't do a diet just for belonging, just to yell at people, just to have friends or whatever. Do it for you to support others and find something in your life that you feel like you can give back and where your diet can serve you most optimally to give back. And that's what I do. Like I don't really yearn to be in the raw meat community too much. Like it just happens naturally, of course. But like I want to belong to the community of people who are serving, their community. They're just people overall. And so to do that most effectively, like I want to be healthy and strong, and that's where I see the raw meat comes in. It's a tool for me to ultimately like get the job done that I want to do. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting lost these days with the meat-based community. They're just seeing this as a way to get their dopamine high by like the amount of TikTok followers or amount of likes on Instagram, and it's just filling a void in their life of like they want attention, they want a belonging, and it's ultimately just a shallow way of getting that is through diet culture, so to speak. Because a lot of what diet culture is just disagreeing with other people, and that's kind of a negative way to go about your life. You want to go about your life a little more positively and look at diet as a way that serves you personally. And yes, it is nice to be around like-minded people who understand that meat is good for you, or like raw meat is, probably better than cooked meat. So things like that. But like you still want to get other hobbies and other reasons to live, and so you want it ultimately to serve you. And yeah, and also remember, eat to live, don't live to eat. And there's no life without death, so respect it.
All right, Frank, that's it for our interview.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being in Blue Light for so long. Hope you enjoy the questions I prepared.
Yeah, no, it's great. Anytime. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It was great to finally be able to talk with you for a long time. I've been following you for a long time.
Yeah, this has been
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
So for those that are listening, comment down below what you think about this long ass interview. And like always, check out the playlist on my channel that has all my previous interviews if you like this kind of conversation. With that said, let's say goodbye to everyone. Bye bye.